Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, so real quick before I get into the recap, again, obviously today is not Thursday, today is Tuesday. It's because of the holidays. Next week we will be back to our regular time, Thursdays, 8:30 Eastern, right here on this channel. Um,
This Thursday.
no, this Thursday is New Year's Eve. So next week we'll be back to Thursdays on January 7th.
Oh shit.
Because my
Okay.
life is sad and my boyfriend works on Friday.
I don't have any fake sponsorships tonight, so
We can't fake sponsor my
Except our
cookie dealer like
merch.
we always do.
Keep-
They're amazing, like half-pound cookies and deliciousness.
Yeah. However, keep your eyes peeled for the episode title. Dave's Gerbil Shampoo is going to be hitting the market at some point. Anyway, so last week we started off with Sheriff Hemlock coming into the Rusty Dragon. He told you guys that an informant of his is on her way to Sandpoint with some big news. So the sheriff had asked you all to meet up with him and the informant and the mayor at the town hall. This was in the evening, so he asked for this meeting to occur first thing in the morning. He then took a drink and left, and then all the shenanigans ensued as Jareem immediately began to load up his pipe with one of his fancy magic mushrooms. He and Cade both tasted the rainbow, so to speak, and there was various amounts of judgment as well as diving across the table by Cade to stop this mushroom from exploding and paralyzing everybody with its aids, according to Dino. So after that, you all try to figure out where you could get more of this stuff. Cade thought that her friend Jubrail would know where to get some, so you all headed over to the Fat Man's Feed Bag, where you found Jubrail, and you asked him if he had any more mushrooms for Dream, which he did not, but he instead had some other drugs that he showed you, including the goji leaves that make you a bit more resilient when you eat them, the fun powder, which swaps your biological sex for a short time, and the flayed mind, which was a purple liquid that causes you to sort of just become like Patrick using the Orb of Confusion for a time. So after some really dangerous sleight of hand attempts to swindle Jubrail, you all bought whatever drugs you decided to get. Urzulin took a few very small shots of the fun powder. She then fashioned them into some bullets. However, she made the bullets the wrong size, and so later on, she had to run off to try and find a pistol to use to administer these bullets. But before that happened, Dino went to the general store looking for another dagger, and he had a run-in with Shayless, who had sold him the dagger he bought at the festival, as well as was being rather flirtatious with him for a bit. She persuaded him to check the basement of the general store, as she said that there was a rat problem. However, of course, there were no rats, and so Dino and Shayless had a little fun together for a few minutes before her father, Ven, went down the stairs, past Chomper, who was not doing a very good job of standing guard, and after realizing what was going on, Ven initiated a fist fight with Dino, which Dino was getting smacked around a bit until Chomper came down and saved the day. But in the aftermath, Dino and Chomper were asked very firmly to leave. However, Dino still got what he came for because the dagger that he was attempting to buy was left out on the counter with no sign of
That's what I
Shayless
get for trying being a nice person.
anywhere. Yeah, I suppose so. No good deed goes unpunished here. So while that was going on, Kat and Cade went to the armory first, talking with Sava, who's the owner and proprietor. There was a lot made about the price of a really nice looking repeating crossbow that was magically enchanted. The price was rather high at 1,000 gold pieces. So instead of trying to get a hold of that item, Kat purchased a heavy crossbow with some regular bolts, and Kat and Kate ended up buying some of these special thistle bolts that will cause some extra damage and effects on targets that are hit by them. Once that was done, they both headed back to the Rusty Dragon. Jareem took one of his mushrooms and made it into some stink bombs that are meant to attract goblins. He made 3 of them. And then he gave Ameko his vial of the flayed mind, and for some reason had her make it into a loaf of bread. Banana bread, to be specific. Let me add that to my notes. Because I remember now that I wanted to make fun of you for saying banana bread, because banana bread is inferior. But but I never got to do that.
Banana bread at work, bro.
No, remember it's garlic knot shaped bread, and it's the forget-me-nots.
Yes, that too. That's the headcanon that you're going with over there. So once that was done, Jareem slipped out of the Rusty Dragon and went next door to the Goblin Squash stables, where he decided to do a reverse burglary as he broke in, or didn't even really break in. He just went in through an unlocked back door and left.
He left the door unlocked.
Left a gift of 1 stink bomb for Davarin, and then he left. And then went to bed. The other thing that happened was Ursuline made a last-minute stop over to Sava's armory. She proceeded to explain that she needed a pistol because she made bullets for the wrong type of gun, and then she put one of her fun powder bullets inside of her blunderbuss and shot herself with it.
No, in the pistol that I took from the lady, and then I shot
Right. Yes, that's right. Yeah. So you looked at the pistol, and then you immediately shot yourself with one of your fun powder bullets, and changed your bits for a few minutes. Sava was absolutely horrified at this sight, and she basically just said that you can rent the pistol. She doesn't care what you do with it, but you better make sure that it's back before she closes tomorrow.
My headcanon is that she thinks I'm gonna use it for a sex change orgy.
Good. And and her other instructions were to simply leave the gun outside and knock on the door twice. Let's see, anything else? Yeah, back at the Rusty Dragon, you all had a drink of the expensive wine that Ursuline had sold them. Because that was just a ridiculous day of shenanigans that you guys had. We finished with your rest and spell prep, so you guys get up in the morning. You feel a bit better rested. Dino, after waking up, used a Cure Light Wounds on himself to recover back to full health. The rest of you are at full HP except for Ursuline. And I guess
Why?
Because you shot yourself and you...
I attended to lay wound. No, I didn't. I really didn't.
No, you recovered 4 hit points during the night. but you are still 6 short of being full. So
Darn.
So yeah, you wake up in the morning,
Leaky gut wound over here.
and the day is yours. So what would you like to do?
I don't know. I guess I'm gonna go down and get breakfast.
Okay.
Kate's gonna groggily just rumble under the covers until someone bangs on his door.
Once I wake up, I'm going to meditate for about an hour before, well, after that, I'm gonna go get some breakfast.
Okay.
With Chomper, of course.
So you meditate, you prep your spells, you cure yourself, and then you head downstairs. You find Urslin's already down there. Doesn't seem like any of the rest of your friends are awake yet.
The early bird catches the worm. Now time to see what's up for breakfast.
You see that Ameko has made a big plate of various meats. There's some bacon. There's some sausage. There's some ham. She's also made a rather large plate of eggs. There's some potatoes and carrots and other vegetables as well. She looks at the two of you and then over at Chomper and says, "I made extra today. I knew that the dinosaur would be up first."
Oh, awesome. And I gathered the correct amount of food for Chomper. Can't let my best buddy go hungry.
Yeah, there's certainly enough for all of you, even the ones that haven't come downstairs yet. But yeah, that includes Chomper.
Excellent.
Babu is having himself a
What
giggle
are some
over
supposed
there.
to do today?
Yeah,
I got some.
Yeah, you think about it for about a minute, and you remember that you have a meeting to go to at the town hall.
Oh yeah, town hall. And I'll get the others once I eat my breakfast.
Okay. So for the rest of you, how much longer do you stay asleep for?
I'm downstairs eating breakfast.
Yeah,
I'm
I know you're there.
I'm heading down too.
Okay, so Dream gets up, heads downstairs. I think Kim said she was AFK for a bit. But
So Cade doesn't like mornings, so I guess when they hear everyone coming downstairs, they're gonna count like how many people they're hearing going down the stairs, and once they pretty much heard everyone except one, they're gonna go, oh, okay, and groggily get up and start getting ready and come down the stairs, like still like trying to put one boot on as they're hopping down the last few steps and looking at everyone going, good morning, I'm here.
What's up?
Where are we going? I forgot the places, the town, the hall of town hall. That's where we're going, right?
Yeah, but I'm not going anywhere until me and Chopper have had our breakfast.
Oh, that's what smells so good. And then Kate just walks over and flops down in front of the bar and makes a plate.
okay, as you get to the bottom of the stairs, you turn around. Cat's like right behind you. So everyone is here. Like the Smash Bros advertisements always say, everyone is here. Everyone is enjoying their breakfast. Even Babu, who cannot eat, for he is a spirit.
Kate panics as
Wow.
he puts way too much spices on his food. and continues trying to
Dream
eat it
better
without dying.
invest into a spell that lets Babu eat.
Babu is expanding.
I see that Babu is mad that Babu can't be fed, and Babu just keeps going.
He's turning into a wormhole.
Imagine that'd be terrifying. Spirit owl just caves in on itself and it's a black hole.
The end. Game over.
Yeah, that's the end of the campaign. No. So Bethana sets out a tray that has some bread on it. She looks at Jareem and says, "Don't worry, this isn't your special bread. We made this just a little while ago." She sets that down,
Okay.
and she asks everyone what they'd like to drink.
Where is my special bread?
Ameko reaches down underneath the bar and hands you a box.
Thank you very much.
Cade asks for honey mead.
With a mouthful of whatever I'm eating, I go, okay.
Bethana goes and gets a glass full of their winter drop, and then she actually just like adds some honey to it.
Cade just bounces up and down excitedly.
She says, "I've never tried it like that. Maybe I should sometime."
It's nice for the morning when you don't want to notice it has alcohol. And then Cade just kind of hammers one back and then grins and goes, "Can I just have a regular mead now?" And the cheeks are rosy, and I am now happy and content with food and looking at Chomper and trying to stealthily feed Chomper pieces of food while Dino isn't looking. Because I still feel bad from yelling at the other day.
Bethana looks at everyone else, sort of expectingly, wanting to know what anyone else wants to drink.
I'll have meat too. Why not?
All right, yeah, she quickly gets you a glass of mead, sets it down in front of you.
I ask her how much the total is. Because we have definitely had a tab at this point, I realize.
She starts you look and she starts like doing the math in her head, and as she's about to start sort of like giving you the total of your bill, Ameko kind of cuts her off and she says, "No, don't worry. This one's on me after what you guys did yesterday when my dad came in here."
I realize you can't see me in real life, but Cade triumphantly raises both hands in the air and just goes, "Yes!" And looks at Mako and says, "Thank you!" and keeps stuffing his face even more.
Ameko just starts laughing. Then after a moment she like sort of like moves to like the very like corner of the bar here, and she tries to, she's like, she kind of like motions towards Jareem, and she just quietly says, "So what are you going to use that bread for?"
I haven't decided yet.
Oh, come on. You're not going to let me in on this after I made it for you?
Hold on, you broke up. What was that?
She says, "Oh, come on. You're not going to let me in on this after I made it for you?"
I mean, It could be used a few ways. How about this? I'll let you know when I do use it.
Please do. I always like hearing the stories of adventurers. She heads back and she starts like making more food.
Cade looks over and says, "This is the best food I've had in my entire life, and the most consistent meals I've had in my entire life. And I never want this to change. Mako, this is amazing." And then you just see a empty plate slide forward with a grin on my face, and then a little gold coin slid over anyway, and being like, "It's the least I could do." And I say, "One more plate before we head out."
Ameko takes the gold and she just says, "Coming right up." And she only takes like a couple more minutes and then throws together another plate with everything on it for you.
Cade grins and starts wolfing it down.
Is Cat within my line of sight?
She's right next to you.
I'm a shooter.
Oh my god.
With the bullet, because I told her I would do it, so I'm doing it when she's least suspecting it.
Alright, go ahead, make an attack roll.
Happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas! Aw, fuck!
And you miss from point blank range.
Could I use a grit since I'm in melee range? And ignore touch AC? Or would that only apply if I'm out of shooting range?
Wait, hold on one second. What is your...
It says beyond, but could this also apply when you're...
actually, wait, no, this is your blunderbuss. Never mind. I got excited for a second because you rolled a natural 2, and I was like, oh, it's a misfire, but it's a regular pistol, so it's not your like quote unquote.
Yeah, no,
broken
but you told me
gun.
to use the blunderbuss route.
Yeah, because it's the same attack bonus, as well as damage. But yeah, no, it's not a misfire because that would only be a natural 1. So I'm sorry. What were you going to ask
I was
me?
asking if I could use a grit point to resolve. So instead of it says to when it's beyond firearms first range increment.
Right.
But could it also be when you're within melee range?
Well, no, because when you're within the range increment, it's going to be touch AC that it goes against, and either way.
Well, I'm in like the range of a pistol where it wouldn't work anyways. It'd be point blank.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing in Pathfinder. I think like you can use a gun at point blank range.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
I just realized I was still muted.
Yeah, no. We could just say that you bent down as I shot at you and it hit the wall. You were just digging down into your food, and I missed again.
Yeah, and this time the bullet actually is expended. It's the same bullet that you had loaded previously.
Yeah.
After it impacted a chair, and this time it hits the wall, and there's no saving that one.
And you just see a little poof, and the fun dust falls out of it.
Yep.
And I look at you, Cat, and I go, fucker. And I go back to eating.
I look over and just say, "Did you really just miss that close?"
Guns are not designed to be close range.
Cat is just
Why?
going to look.
This is a pistol.
Cat's gonna look at her and be like, "This is what you get."
And like I'm waving the pistol around in front of everyone, and I'm like pointing at it, saying, "This is a pistol."
You have to make finger off the trigger. Finger off the trigger.
And I
Cade's
hold up
just
the gun.
laughing.
I hold up the gun like in front of my face, and I point my hand so you can see my finger. It's not even on the trigger.
Yeah, and
like,
much
and
like,
I go, "I know that, dummy."
And much like your
Okay,
much like the blunderbuss, this pistol is it's a single shot. It has to be like loaded with powder as well as the bullet every time. So.
Well, while Kat's distracted by this whole thing, and I'm sitting pretty much right by them, I'm just gonna take some of the fun powder out of my pocket and just a small amount, and just kind of go and blow it right into Kat's face.
Okay.
Because bullet missed, or did it? I'm gonna look at. Are you sure? Are you sure that bullet missed?
I hate
Because I'm
you
doing it.
all.
I'm doing it stealthily, so you don't know that I'm like at you. You just look like I'm just like blowing like food off my hands.
Okay.
Can I roll as for a distraction to aid her or no? Since I'm like yelling about a gun
Well,
and
things that-
yelling at Cat because I missed again.
I mean, if I'm not stealthy at all, then it's.
All right. So yeah, Cat, make a perception check opposed to that, and
Well, could I also make
well,
like a thing to like distract her? or no?
There's no need.
Oh,
now, 'cause
oh, but can I
Aw.
do it anyways to see how much of a
yeah,
distraction I
yeah,
am?
you can do it.
All right,
not?
I'm gonna do perform. Would it be
Okay.
For the
perform or
record-
something else?
For the record,
To
out
perform.
of character, don't hate me.
I'm not that much of a distraction. You're just really good at this.
Dino being seated right next to Cade sees what's about to happen. So the fun powder gets blown across the bar towards Cat. Cat, make a
It's not a lot. It's literally enough just to like mess with her head just for like a minute. Like literally just a barely like just
Yeah, I'm trying to figure what kind of a check to have her make, just because she's not like willingly inhaling it.
Oh,
or
I
ingesting
completely
it.
understand.
So
Yeah, that's why I was
make
doing it.
just make a Constitution check. Okay, so you feel this like powdery substance being sort of like flung at you. You cough for like a moment or two, but it doesn't take effect.
One.
So-
Do you notice that it was me?
No, she doesn't know it was you.
I'm gonna under my breath just go, damn.
But her bits are still her bits.
And be like, I'm gonna look at Ursula and just go, I tried. And then continue finishing up my food and going, all right, so town hall?
Prayed by Cade and be like, look, I like guys. I'm happy that you all want to explore, but I had my experimental phase. I like my bits. I like who I am and what I am. Can we please stop messing with that?
Kay just looks over and goes, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I saw Ursula shooting people with it, and it seemed like it might be fun. But you're right, I should respect that, and my bad.
Hand them over toys. And she's just going to glare at Ursuline.
I'm gonna look at Jurim and go, hey, do you have any more of those mushrooms while we wait?
Oh god, Dream turned Cade into a druggie.
Let's see. Yeah, Dream, you guys smoked that one yesterday. He took another one to use on the bombs. There's the one that is just going to heal. There's the blood cap one, and I'm blanking on the fifth one. I don't remember what it was, but I think I remember that the fifth one is also not psychoactive. Anyway, Dream, do you partake in anything before the meeting? Wait, did he say he was getting up? I don't know why I'm now like recalling he said he was getting up. No?
I might have missed it, but I don't think so. Am I also coming through roll 20?
No, I don't think so.
Huh.
Said roll 22 something dumb, and that is not roll 20, that's Twitch. No, I am not also coming through Roll20.
My thing on Roll20 was lighting up like I was talking through it, so I just wanted to check in.
Oh yeah, it was the one. I remember the last one now. It was the one that that gives him speak with dead.
Oh
Unless-
yeah, you can do what I can do.
Unless he fails to save, in which case the dead speak with him, because becomes Soviet Russia. All right, so I think we can assume that he does not partake in anything before this meeting. You guys finish your breakfast. You then proceed out of the Rusty Dragon, headed towards the town hall, which Cade can effortlessly guide you all to. I've placed you on the map all the way up here at number 11. So you walk in. Oh, I meant to zoom in and not out. Okay. So you walk towards town hall. You meet up there with Sheriff Hemlock. He brings you into the town hall and into an office. The office is very nice size. It's pretty comfortable looking. It's on the second floor of the town hall. Inside is the mayor of Sandpoint, Kendra Deverin, as well as there's an elven woman who is pretty attractive. She has blonde hair, blue eyes. Her clothing looks to be a little ragged right now, like she just got done adventuring somewhere. But after bringing you all in and giving you a moment to kind of take in your surroundings, Sheriff Hemlock introduces everybody. He starts with the mayor, Kendra Deverin. She is a human woman with short brown hair. He then turns to the elven woman. He says, "This is Shalelu Andosana," and he makes a point of introducing her as an unofficial member of Sandpoint's town guard. And as he says this, she kind of like smirks a little bit. She kind of likes being like a sort of unofficial arm of the town, rather than being forced to conform to whatever their guidelines are. And then he points to all of you and he says, Mayor Shalelu, these are he mentions all of you by name, and he says that you all are Sandpoint's newest crop of goblin slayers. Once the intros are done, pleasantries exchanged, Sheriff Hemlock gets into his explanation of why you are all here. He says that he once again points towards Shalelu. He says Shalelu has been a thorn in the side of the local goblin tribes around Sandpoint for years. Very few, if anyone, would know more about them than she does. He mentions that she gave him a report that recently Sandpoint it hasn't been the only town in the region that has had goblin attacks. These attacks and raids have, according to her, been occurring all along the Lost Coast, particularly in the small dale between Nettlewood and Mosswood. Just yesterday, there was a farm a bit south of Mosswood, and it was burnt to the ground by a group of goblins. Shalelu happened to be nearby, and though she couldn't save the farm, she did rescue the family, and she drove off the goblins herself. The family has been relocated to a nearby farm for the time being, but it is rather obvious that the goblin problem is not going away. At this point, the sheriff sort of turns the floor over to Shalelu, and she addresses all of you directly. She says, Bellor's told me of your work against the goblins. Well done. I've dedicated the last several years of my life to keeping them from causing too much trouble around these parts, but they're tenacious little runts. They're like weeds that bite. She says there are 5 major goblin tribes in this region, and traditionally they're pretty good at keeping each other in line with their own disputes and squabbles. Yet from what I've been able to piece together, members of all 5 of the tribes were involved in the raid here on Sandpoint. A fair number of the Mosswood goblins I dealt with yesterday were already pretty beat up, and there was a lot of chatter about the Longshanks who killed so many of them. Now that I've met you, it seems obvious from their descriptions who they were talking about. It seems like you made an impression. In any event, the fact that the 5 tribes are working together is disturbing. Goblin tribes don't get along unless they've got something big planned, and big plans require big bosses. I'm afraid that someone's moved in on the goblins and organized them. And judging by these recent raids, what they're organizing seems like bad news for all of us. As soon as she's done talking, Hemlock speaks up again. He tells everyone that he's going to be taking a few guards with him, and they are going to head south towards the bigger city of Magnamar. Hemlock plans to ask Magnamar just for a few reinforcements for a few weeks. That he would want to be stationed in the town. He then turns to Shalelu and he asks her to kind of make the rounds going towards various settlements that are on the outskirts of Sandpoint, including Shankswood, Brine Stump, Mosswood again, Devil's Platter, and then he just mentions anywhere else that she might know where the goblins could be hiding out. Lastly, the sheriff turns to all of you. He asks that he looks at all of you and he says, the townsfolk here seem to really have taken to all of you. Many of them whom I've spoken to have already sort of referred to you as heroes. I think it would really ease their minds if they see you all maintaining a presence here. So I'd like you to stick around here for a few days, at least until I get back from Magnamar with any reinforcements.
Kate just looks at her and goes, I mean, I live here, so, like, I'm on board. Would say all of you.
Erzlin just looks up from the ground and goes, okay.
Does anyone else have input? Okay. So with that, the sheriff turns first to Shalelu and then to the mayor, gives them both a bit of a nod, and he sees himself out. Shalelu is going to approach all of you. She's going to say, well, I have business to take care of around the town for the next few hours, but if you'd like, please join me for dinner. I'm going to head over to the Rusty Dragon myself. It's always been my favorite inn.
Can I inside check Shalelu?
Yeah, sure. Roll sense motive. What do you want to know?
I don't know if she's being sincere. Or if there's anything sus about her.
Okay.
Sense motive?
You don't know shit about shit.
God damn it, dude. I even checked it up.
She says after
I kind of smacked Dino a little bit.
Dino? Why Dino?
I don't know,
Just why not?
Kate just is like, I don't know. I just felt like blurting that out wasn't a good idea.
Oh,
everyone
truly,
needs a good morning slap.
I'll slap him. I go over and I slap Dino.
I know nothing.
Wait, why am I slapping Dino?
I don't know why
I-
anybody is slapping Demo.
Kay just panicked when you yelled about necromancers because instinctually is afraid that people are going to think they are one even though they are not, and also just smacked Dino out of panic and then realized immediately that was not the right move.
I was the only one
Wow.
that didn't roll in that
We
one.
are terrible.
I was the only one that didn't roll in that one.
I know, my point is, but look at the numbers. We have 2 nat 1s, 6, 7,
Wait.
8.
Someone roll it again, see if we get a 9. Someone roll it again, see if we get a 9.
9.
Wait, Dino, just roll it and see if you get a 9, please.
You're not gonna tell him what for.
Oh.
Anyway, after
We know
After the...
no.
Oh no!
after
We all know
So
nothing.
close.
oh no. Oh no.
Just all of a
Okay.
sudden Chomper starts snarling. And be like, I'm gonna look over and be like,
We gotta break this low roll curse. Someone has to roll high.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, none of you
Chopper
know.
also rolled an 8.
Jesus Christ. All right.
That's your number, 8.
You're only home.
Okay, so none of your characters will ever be getting into police work. This is what I've gathered.
It's never been
Well, I'm
a
a
good
druid, so I
detective.
wouldn't really care about police work.
Anyway, all of you feel that Shalelu is being honest and forthright with all of you. After she extends the invite to dinner, she says, your sheriff here only scratched the surface of what I know. I have a lot more knowledge to give you. So please join me.
If
Alright,
I
free food.
may share some knowledge with you, I figured out a pretty nifty lure for these goblins.
She says,
And
"Oh,
I'm gonna
do tell."
hand her one of the stank grenades.
Okay. She's going to sort of inspect it for a moment. She says, "I've never seen anything quite like this. What did you make it out of?"
I'm gonna keep that secret to myself until we start utilizing them.
Okay. She's gonna try and identify it herself. Just
Kay's just gonna look at it and go, stink bomb.
It's an old shaman secret from another universe.
What is this universe thing you speak of?
Cat's just gonna glare at him like, really? Really?
What are they gonna say?
Oh, so it's okay when you say it, but when I say it, I'm gonna get us in trouble.
So I turn to Kate as they're arguing and I go, what's going on here?
I don't know, they say they're from another world or something. I just kind of shrugged it off.
Aliens.
I kind of accepted it. Y'all accept me, so like, here we are.
So at this point, Shalelu is actually going to hand the stink bomb back to Jareem, and she says, "Don't worry, I won't tell anyone."
You don't know anything.
You're right, I don't.
Going to prevent anything from bad from happening to us. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
She then turns to the mayor and she says, "Thank you for allowing us to use your space on such short notice. I'll be around if you need me." And she sees herself out. The mayor, at this point, she addresses everyone. She says, I never got a chance to properly thank all of you for helping us with the raid. But there's one other thing I wanted to ask you all. Word travels fast through the town these days. what has become of the Valdemar Manor?
That's full of shit.
Empty. Oh, and there's this creepy talking doll thing in the basement.
There's a lot of creepy shit there. Burn it down.
Yeah, you can
What
burn
they
it.
said.
Well, I would rather not burn down one of the 4 manors of Sandpoint, but...
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of creepy, not goblin things there that we can't really speak to too well, except Ursuline over here is really savvy with their language.
What we could do is set up a base camp in the manor just to get closer behind enemy lines.
Do is burn it to the ground and then rebuild it even bigger and better.
Well, I mean, it's already structured, so we would have cover already if we just built.
She seems confused by all of the different opinions that you all have. But she says, well, what you found in there, did you take care of it?
There's not more that meet the whole
Yeah?
take care of it. Because we don't know where those things came from or what they were.
We took care of the immediate problem, but there's some tunnels that are going underneath the manor also.
Why don't
That
we
we
just
haven't yet
blow up the
explored.
tunnels?
Tunnels.
We could just blow up the house.
Tunnels under the manor, you say? Well, I guess I'll have to send a couple of the remaining guards over there just to make sure that it's clear. In the meantime, I wanted to thank you for rescuing that child and helping to save our town. So I have a reward for all of you. And she pulls out a pretty sizable bag, at least bigger than the ones you've gotten from other people in the town so far. Just puts it on the table that's between all of you.
I'm gonna fuck up a bag.
Whoa, Dino, whoa. Poke.
Everyone watch this man and make sure he doesn't feed any coins to his dinosaur.
I'm just gonna look on the table, both hands visible, and I poke at the bag, and I'm like just slightly lifting it up towards the table, being like, "Meh." You told me not to trust anyone, Dino. I'm only listening. Kate sings.
The mayor just says, if you'll excuse me, I have another meeting to take care of, and she leaves, leaving you all with the with the reward.
Kate just looks over and goes, "Bye, Mayor. I've lived here my whole life." I don't think know. Kate wants someone who's important to know that Kate is a good person. See? So if they find out what Kate is, Kate doesn't die.
Kate, who is that guy that we bought all the good stuff from?
Kate just kind of looks around and goes, "Is some hair gone?"
I think so.
And I go and I look at him and go, Gerbil?
Yeah, I kind of want to pay him a visit.
Y'all, if you guys do that, I will go apologize.
Good, because I have some plans.
And I need contacts because I don't mean to I was a pirate for many years. I should not be shallow. But also, I miss my money.
Me
Kate
too.
looks
Can
over
I
at
just
the
like position myself with my big ass coin pocket and then walk away?
I'm looking over at Dino and going, whoa, we stopped watching Dino. Dino, how much gold is there?
Tell you I had servants as a kid. I miss that.
Are you talking about my gold bag?
Can I not? Oh yeah, I can't hear Tristan. No wonder. I was like, no wonder I haven't heard his voice in a while.
Oh, yeah, Tristan. Oh, okay.
Oh, we can hear him.
That's
now
weird.
we can't because he left.
Because like I wasn't lighting up a few minutes ago, so I
Now
left and came
back.
back.
Testing.
Yes, you're good now. Sorry.
Alright, so what I asked earlier was that I was gonna be counting out the gold, and that's why everyone's so suspicious of me.
Okay, yes, that would explain why everyone was suddenly sus of you. Okay, so you spent the time counting the gold. There is 500 gold pieces in the bag.
Alright, there's 500 pieces. It has to go to 7 different people, so... Let me count this
Kate
out.
just goes, bad at math. Something like 71,48,285,71.
What?
He just starts rambling numbers and goes, wait. 71 each?
71 each.
Well, that sounds about right.
Okay,
Alright,
guys.
71 gold to Dino, Chomper, Dream,
No,
Babu,
no,
and the
no.
others.
Well, at least he
tried- No.
At least he wanted to give money to Babu this time.
How about we do the humanoids and not the animals?
Oh, it's 100 gold each. Kate looks over and
Hey Babu,
glares
what do you
at
think
Dino.
about this? Shouldn't you get an equal pay?
Don't think Dino's
I
going
don't
to.
need your money.
God
Wait,
damn it,
Babu
Al,
talk?
work with me here.
I turned to- I
Babu
turned
goes
to
to like pick up a gold piece and it just goes right through his talons.
I hate solid objects.
Is that Babu speaking?
Yes.
Babu talks?
Dream, like, translating for Babu.
But
Come
Jareem
on,
just
Al, work with
go
me
to
here.
Babu and just like give him the shush sign.
How much money did they give us exactly?
71
Total of
each.
Total of 500.
500? Yeah, no. I go over and I bop Dino on the back of the head. And I take it so that it's like 100 each, like in 5 piles, and I'll be like, that's what it is. That's math.
You would understand
do
if
math.
you had an ale companion to watch after.
I'm gonna
If
look
I had an animal
over.
companion to watch after, I would go get a job to feed my animal companion.
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
not
Is
fair.
Goblin
Don't get it.
Slayer not a legitimate career?
Kate, it's gonna flick Dino on the nose and go, yeah, with the help of your friends, aka la my cut, and I grab.
I
And I
grab my
flag
cut as
900.
Dream says that too. I go over and I grab mine. And I turn to Cat and Dream. I said, I suggest you grab yours before his little fingers divide that into 4. Are you good?
I just imagine Dino's face and how pissed off he was.
Yeah, if y'all did, like, actually any damage, you'd be catching his hands.
Oh no, we're not doing damage to you. We're just Denozo slapping you with a butt
I'm
of.
gonna put 1 gold coin in each of Chomper's nostrils, so it literally just.
If you actually do that, I'm punching you. I swear to God.
He has a mouth. He could still breathe.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm like, this is your payment. Here you go. And Cade looks over and goes, here, I paid your dinosaur, and I'm gonna duck immediately because I know you're gonna swing.
And I hold up 3 gold coins and I say, if you do a little dancey dance, I'll pay you. Chomper. I say that.
Punch.
Falco punch.
Falco punch. Just to
How do I?
just to mind
dodge?
you, I am positioned behind you.
Oh, I know. I
No, I'm positioned behind Dino.
know. I didn't punch. I just dodged. What do I roll to dodge? Dodge.
It's a 25. You ain't dodging shit.
Yeah, that's not.
Okay, I can try. Don't take that from me.
How do I roll an unarmed strike to the back of his head?
Just hit the melee button.
Okay. Well, I'll do it after she dodges.
All right, make a reflex save if you want to try and dodge. I'll let you try. Cade.
Allie.
What am I rolling?
Roll
Reflex.
roll a reflex save.
I'm
It's right after fort. It's under touch.
Thank you. I've been looking. Oh no.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I punch him.
Square
No,
in
you
square in the jaw, and no, your punch misses because Dino has a higher AC than that.
He leaned too far forward. He leaned into the punch, and I missed.
So I just literally went to dodge and just like ducked down to like a fucking uppercut to the jaw instead.
So you went on your
Okay.
tiptoes?
Listen, I was just joking about the whole give Chomper gold thing, but you didn't have to like actually shove money into his nostrils. God damn it!
Okay, he didn't seem mad. I like put in the very edges of it, and it just.
I go
funny.
over to Chomper
It's a
and I just touch
joke.
his nose, and then the gold coins fall out. And I turn to Dino. I go, "See."
Hey,
I'm
speaking true,
sorry,
Chomper,
the
be mad.
bad.
Certainly, I teach my
Fans
dinosaur
are
the command
calling me.
rage.
908-394-8856. Who the fuck are you? Why do you keep calling me?
Put that person on board.
Yeah, you're on Twitch now. Fuck off. Everybody call that number. Rewind if you missed it.
Alright, I'm gonna take my 101 gold pieces. I'm going to.
It's
skedaddle.
102.
Right, 102.
Thank you very much, and I have to add 98 to it. The punch in the face was worth it. And I say, all right, where are we going?
So everyone else gets 100. So, yeah, you guys have some time before Shillelagh wants to meet up with you all. If you want
I
to,
want to go to an armory.
You want to go to the armory? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Gerbil some questions.
Yep.
I want to go
I
shoot some
showed
things.
them the way.
And I'm going to go with him to Jubrail to make amends, and maybe become partners.
Okay.
You know what? I'm
so-
gonna go fishing.
I like that.
All right,
I'm just
so
gonna go over here and go fishing.
That's a lot of stuff.
Mine is pretty easy. You could do me last. I'm going fishing.
Okay. Cool. All right. So. I gotta move people around. All right, so Dino wants to go. Oh, hello.
I'm gonna go get something to eat.
Drawing spots on the map that don't belong there. All right, so Dino wants to go to the armory. Cat is going to the Fat Man's feed bag, which is there, I believe. Nope, I was wrong. It is further down over there. Cade, you're going with her?
Yes.
Okay.
I am escorting them.
Dream, you said you were going down there too?
Yep.
All right. So, I'll do, let's see, we'll do Dino first. So, Dino, you go to the armory. Hold on, I have to find the map. There it is. All right. So you find yourself inside of Sava's armory. You see various weapons and suits of armor around, most of which look pretty nice. The store is in great condition. You see Sava, who is the owner. She's just reorganizing some things on the table over here as you walk in. She turns around and she greets you, and she says, real quick, you don't have any weird magic bullets, do you?
Nope, I'm a druid. I use natural things like swords.
Okay, good. I had some crazy person come in last night and shoot herself, so I don't know. I can't be sure right now. What can I help you with?
Alright, so I have a bit of a custom order that I would like to request.
She says, all right, what's on your mind? What do you think?
I need some armor for my good friend Chomper here.
She kind of looks at Chomper, goes kind of like wide-eyed, and she sort of like mutters something to herself, and she says, okay, what material?
Well, he needs something that will defend him fairly without restricting his movement too much. And he needs some serious swag, so something flashy. I was thinking Hell Knight leather.
She thinks about it for a moment, and she says, well, I can maybe get something like that. She's like trying to picture it in her head. She says, "Oh yeah, I remember what Hell Knight leather is now. So yeah, it's studded leather, but something that you should know about it, since you mentioned your dinosaur's movement, is that Hell Knight leather is going to be heavier than studded leather."
Wait, time out. I'm looking in light armors, and Hell Knight leather is light.
Right. I'm on the actual Hell Knight leather page where it says Hell Knight leather's stats are identical to studded leather, except it weighs more and costs more.
Oh, cost more. I'm all right with. I thought you were like suggesting that it's medium armor, even though it was a
No,
light
no,
for
no,
some
no, no,
reason.
no. I'm not. But it does weigh more than studded leather, but the stats don't change.
I got ice cream.
Well, that makes sense, and Chomper should be more than capable of wearing it without restricting him too much.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it weighs 25 pounds, so his carry capacity is certainly higher than that. So yeah, back to in-game stuff. She says, "Well, I do have quite a bit of items here that might help give me some inspiration. I can certainly try to make something of that quality. Might take me a little longer though, just because of the odd shape that I have to sort of get this armor into. Let's see here. Given the cost of the materials, the time it's going to take me to make the armor, probably puts you back 50 gold.
50 gold. Well, I heard it's a tradition where I'm from to bargain, so how about 40 gold?
Make a diplomacy check.
Can I cast Enhanced Diplomacy?
Yeah.
Where are you at diplomacy? There you are.
So that's an 18, if I'm not mistaken. Okay.
Recently issued an emergency use authorization for the COVID-19.
The hell is that?
An administration.
What?
Huh?
Some like COVID shit just started playing.
Oh, that was me. I don't know how that's playing through my fucking mic.
Weird.
Yes. Like, that doesn't sound like it belongs in Rise of the Runelords.
Why was that playing
okay,
through my
sure.
mic?
No, well, I mean,
I had my volume down all the way. Like, it was almost muted, so that's kind of fucking weird.
The only way it belongs in this campaign is if it was called COVID AIDS instead of just regular, COVID. Because, every disease is AIDS in this game, apparently. So, yeah.
Technically, it could be
it's the way my
transmitted.
people, alright? For every
and stuff
disease,
like
we
that.
treat it serious, like it's AIDS.
So, Sava thinks about it for a moment.
Character on a personal level, this hurts me.
And Sava, she says, yeah, I guess you're right. I've never done this before. At least not making armor for a Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, 40 gold sounds fine. It's probably gonna take me a couple days to get all the materials as well as sort of shape it properly. It's gonna take me a little longer than it normally would. But yeah, I can get it done. Dino? Dino?
He's talking. You can't hear him?
Can't hear him.
At least you can't hear my YouTube video.
Testing.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Alright, so basically I just said thank you, 40 gold. I gave her the 40 gold, and I just asked for the request of, can you make it look more flashy? Because this is armor for a T-Rex. Like, it can't look tame by any means.
She says, yeah, I can put my own little spin on it. Don't worry.
Nice. And, I look around the store. Don't really need any more weapons right now, so that's it.
Okay. She sort of gives you a wave and says, I'll see you in a couple of days once it's done.
Sounds good. And I'm gonna go, and then once I leave, I'm gonna go fishing.
Okay. Do you try to find Ursulin, or are you just going fishing?
I'm just going fishing.
Okay. So now we'll go to the feed bag. That map. Okay, there we go. So that's you, and you. All right. So you guys head to the feed bag. Again, it's still in the morning, so really no patrons are present, as the feed bag is simply a tavern. No one's really heading there for breakfast. So you walk in and you find Gerbil at the same table. He's sort of just sitting alone with his thoughts for the moment. He sees the three of you walk in and he says, "Back so soon?"
Yeah, I had a question for you.
He says, "Okay, well, I'm a man with many answers. What would you like to know?"
Well, first, I think my friend wants to apologize to you.
He says, "Oh." Jesus, what is that echo? Okay. He's right now. So he's kind of just looking around.
I look over And I say, well, I want to say sorry for the whole confusion of last time and me trying to cover it up. And I'm pretty sure our friend Kat here is being a bit shy, but came along to apologize as well for trying to steal from you.
He, yeah, he
I-
starts looking at Kat, sort of expectantly.
And I say, but that's up to Kat, and I think Kat will be able to tell you that she's sorry for stealing, right? Kat?
feel you had everything in hand when we left, but I am sorry for attempting to deceive you.
Jabrail,
Started off strong, plateaued.
Jabrail,
I did not leave with any items that were not mine. All items were returned to you prior to my leaving. With that being said, I do apologize for the attempt at deceiving you in your own place of business. That was not wise of me.
he
Kate
just
stifles a laugh.
he just says no, it wasn't. Though I have to say I respect the attempt.
Thank you. Sure you happen. Don't take this the wrong way, but you're much more observant than most of the other idiots around here.
He says how I've avoided prison for as long as I have.
I'm not used to people actually catching me, so with that in mind, I promise not to cross you again because I actually have to keep my eye out for you.
And he says, well, now what sort of trouble had you been getting yourself into before?
The wet kind.
Here to my arrival here, I had some business in trading of substances, similar to what your current business is.
Oh, really? So, do go on.
Point prior to a storm or divine intervention? I'm still not quite sure what happened, but my entire crew died and I was stranded here.
Crew. Pirate crew?
Sweet face, I know how to talk money because I grew up in money, and I treat those who work with me well.
I look over and I say that she does do that, and I look over in Gerbil and go, I've definitely been getting paid more for every single job I've ever done since I started working with her. Just food for thought. And then I back up a little, like hands up a little, just be like,
Most of the people who work with me. Those who try to fuck with me, I will screw over.
Or get pregnant by accident, but yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm not there, sorry.
You're not there. Jabrail.
Wait, back up. I don't remember doing that.
You just hear the voice. I'm fishing currently, and you just hear my voice say, or get pregnant by accident. and then you hear nothing.
Jabrail laughs and he says, they'd love you up in Riddleport.
Me?
No, you're not there. Cat.
I was gonna say, I don't know what's going on.
Riddleport's a town full of pirates and scoundrels. Everyone's always looking for the next buck or the next meal. They'd love you there.
Well, that actually brings me to my question, Jabrail. How much competition you got around this town?
Not much.
None in the area?
Not really, no.
You're a lucky man.
To venture out and travel places. Say
Yeah, it
we,
sounds like it's about time for expansion to me.
Expansion, you
hush
say?
you tend to sample the products more than sell them. If I recall, you were one of my best customers.
I don't think I ever bought nothing from you.
No, but you bought stuff. No, but you bought lots of things from the people I supplied. So thank you.
Regardless, the group of people that we roll with make things happen. And I think if we were to go into business together, it would be pretty lucrative for both groups.
I just want to point out, you're making a business deal with 3/5 of your party.
I'd like to point out once again that you're not there.
I know.
We also very transparent with what I was planning on doing. So
Yes, and you went, fuck that, we're going fishing.
like I was very
Yeah,
transparent with I am
of the
going
party
to try
has the
to
right
like
idea here.
regain my fortune.
Well, I don't really care. I was just pointing that out.
All right, so
As long as that Erzlin gets to shoot people, she's fine.
Dream and Cat make diplomacy checks.
Can I cast Enhanced Diplomacy super far away?
You're not there. God damn it.
You can cast it on me while I'm fishing.
To be
Enhanced
fair,
Diplomacy
did
to
tell them what I was planning
convince
on
the fish
doing.
to go over to you.
ooh, nice.
So
Tristan is being diplomatic with the fish.
yeah, he's like, you guys, come on, you want to jump on this hook.
Ooh, look, food. No need to
Great
question
double entendre. Or, no, triple entendre, because it works for many situations right now. Wait,
So Jabrail sits there thinking for a moment, kind of just trying to get a read on everyone here. You see his eyes sort of narrow as he looks upon everyone. He says, "So what? You wanna do business together? You wanna increase my my sales, my influence? But what's in it for you? What do you want?"
Drugs.
Information.
Information about drugs.
well, you want.
Information and a little off the top. We got sales experience over here and we got security experience. We're the whole damn package.
Again, they're not lying.
Jabrail sort of gets sort of has a look on his face that makes you think that he's trying to choose his next words carefully. There's a long pause, and then he looks.
Tim cut out.
I cut out. No.
Tim, we can't hear you. Alright, you said
Okay.
he looks out.
Yeah, he looks towards Jareem, and he says, "Yeah, I don't mind giving you some off the top. That's how I pay all my guys here. But what sort of information are you after?"
Well, we need a guy on the inside. We're doing some stuff for the town over here, and I would like to have someone that knows the underbelly here to maybe keep watch on the corruption around us, basically. And I know that you're a man that knows things. And I've
Well,
always preferred dealing with the shady individuals rather than the shiny ones.
well, like I said earlier, I don't have much competition here. So if you're wondering about the corruption in town, you're looking at it.
I'm not talking about that kind of corruption. I wanted to know if there's anything else going on around here, just to make
Governmental.
sure that my team is safe. I know you got people all around the town, you got eyes everywhere. I just need information from you. Just someone to keep watch.
Okay. Okay. Well, seems like a fair deal to me. Um, you guys go and make some sales, and I'll give you whatever I find or whatever my men find. Let me show you what I just got in. And he disappears for a couple minutes, and then he comes back with a bag. Okay. He inside the bag are 3 smaller bags. The first one, bags on bags. So he opens up the first one, and you see thin slivers of what looks like some kind of mushroom or other fungus. They appear to be dried up, and they are black in color. He says, "Yeah, just got a really great batch of this dream flake here."
Dream flake.
He looks directly at Dream. He's like, "You ever use this stuff?"
No, but I want to see if I know what it does.
All right, make a nature check.
Nature.
Okay. You know that when taken like basically the function of this drug is like a can of skull. Like you stick it between your cheek and your gums. And this drug induces hallucinations and euphoric feelings. However, when you smoke it, you as the user, you enter an extremely vivid waking dream, and it can last for hours. The downsides are this drug is quite addictive, and use over an extended period of time can blacken the teeth, and it makes bad trips more common.
I'm going to look at Jabril and I'm going to say, no, I like my teeth the way they are.
What else you got?
We will take it.
The second bag contains a fine powdery substance that this particular one has a slight greenish tint to it. He says, new batch of Stardust just came in.
Stardust.
Okay.
Yeah.
This substance comes off the dust of the wings of a particular species of moth. When this drug is snorted, you gain one of the following 1, 2, 3, 4. You gain one of the following 4 effects. You gain dark vision. You gain insomnia. You gain a compulsion to follow or stare at light, or a feeling of weightlessness.
I like those odds.
Okay.
This drug is not particularly addictive, but also the effects that it causes don't last all that long. Maybe like an hour per dose.
We should probably take some of that too.
Okay. He then opens the third bag, and you see another sort of fungus type substance inside of it. This one instead is brightly colored. This is a bright purple color. He says this one's just called Ray Bark. Not something I've ever gotten in before, but it sounded interesting. Thought maybe it'd be worth a try.
I'm curious about.
What do we know about it?
Make a nature check. Anyone who's trained. Geez, Dream is on fire.
I was
Okay.
hoping he failed it.
No, he's doing really well. So Ray Bark,
Man knows
when
his drugs.
Ray Bark strongly amplifies strange external senses when it is ingested or snorted. So these sorts of things can include the ability to sense magnetic north, the ability to tell when people are watching you, and as well as where they are. You can maybe sense the coming of a storm. You can read the health of a plant by how its leaves move. You can maybe see UV light, just weird things like that. The senses that are amplified, as well as the intensity of amplification, vary from user to user. However, your sense of your own body is greatly diminished while under its effects. So, for example, you might trip under your own feet. You could be swinging your arms and hitting yourself in the side while you're running. You could fail to properly clench your fist. Just some examples. This drug is harvested from the sides of tree trunks. It's not actually made from any sort of bark. It is just a fungus drug. And Jubrail mentions that this particular drug comes from sort of a commune of as he puts them, strange tree hugging folk, who are only out to feel more connected to the world.
I think I want to see how the Dream Flag goes for us, but I also want to take some of each.
Kat is definitely going to take some of the first one because she thinks that she can sell it at a decently high price if she doesn't let on about the negative side effects.
Okay, so you're both very interested in the Dream Flake. But Dream, you want a little bit of everything? Do I have that right?
Yep.
Okay, so
Yeah, Kat's going to take a little bit of everything to see what she can sell. And she's going to turn to Gerbil and say, and ask, like, so what's the average price of these and what's our cut?
he says, like I said yesterday, you give me about 50 gold, and I'll give you enough to get started.
What I asked.
I wasn't done talking. He
Okay.
he says, based on the amount that I'm giving you, I mean, you should be able to easily double it. I mean, I don't particularly care what you sell it for. You come back and I'll make sure you get paid your fair share.
Sounds good to me. Dream's gonna hand him the money.
All right. So he gives you, between the two of you, he gives you 10 doses of the Stardust, another 10 doses of the Ray Bark, and then he gives you 25 doses of the Stardust.
All right.
Business with ya.
And he says, is there anything else you need?
I think we're good. Unless Dream, you got some. Do you have more of that fun powder?
He says, yeah, I still have some left.
Cade, would you like
He-
some
Okay.
more?
Hi, Kate just sheepishly looks at Kat and says, I promise I won't try to drug you with it next time.
I don't think you
And-
will.
And then I slide however much gold I paid last time for it over.
Don't tell
and says,
Ursula.
Is this enough? And I look over and to Kat again and go, I won't.
Oh, God, I honestly don't remember how much gold you paid last time. It was,
Alright.
All you guys
mean,
try to remember. It's like if you
I
tell
think
Ursula,
25 is a safe amount.
20,
if you
yeah,
tell
well,
Ursula, it goes
I
into
remember,
the river.
I
You
remember
got
him
me?
to do with 25.
25. Okay, so yeah, you give him 25 gold. He gives you well, because you still had some left, because you only gave Ursula enough to make a few bullets, right? So you should still have some left over, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Or unless Dream has it.
But I still want. But I
You
still want
gave
more.
me exactly 2 ounces. And you bought like 5 doses. So I don't know how much that equates to, but
Yeah,
you gave me
exactly.
literally half of 1 dose.
Oh, that's what it was. For 1 month's supply, it cost me 50 gold.
That's what it was. Okay, so yeah, he gives you about like 2 weeks worth. So that's he gives you probably about like a pound of it, I would say.
Okay, so I have 3 pounds of it.
Yeah. And Ursula only got like a few grams. Like that's all she needed to make the bullets. It wasn't even ounces. But yeah, he says, well, good luck out there, and I'll be keeping an eye out.
Thank you very much.
All right, now to head over to the fishing.
Ah, yes.
The important stuff, clearly.
Yes, totally. I feel like we're on 2 opposite ends of the beach.
Exactly. We can't overfish one area. We gotta even it out.
All right, so I'm gonna put Dino down here.
I was just saying that because you said you weren't following me.
Yeah, he wasn't even trying to get a hold of you. All right, so let's see here. Fishing. So I think what was it, Ursula? You whispered me that you were going.
I was gonna run and pick up like something from someone, like either some bait and a fishing hook, so
Okay,
like I
so-
could actually fish.
Yeah, you head over to there is a store that sells that stuff.
And wherever that store is, I'll just go to the nearest beach end to it.
let's see here. Oh my god.
I think I'm
where-
eating too many grapefruits.
You stop over at the Sandpoint Market. And you actually find someone who is selling fishing poles, as well as bait and some of the gear that you need. So that's going to cost you, let's see here. Fish hook is a silver.
Oh shit, does my fishing kit comes with bait?
If
Check
not,
that
you could just
out.
dig through the dirt for worms.
Yes, I'll use
Oh.
my wild empathy to summon worms. But let's see if my thing has it.
Okay, yeah. So if you're getting a full tackle kit, then that is going to be it's 20 gold. But it
I look at the guy and I say 10 gold to rent it.
he says this is a market. I don't rent.
How about 10 gold and I bring you whatever fish I get? I'll roll diplomacy if that helps.
Yeah, roll diplomacy.
Who's that?
He says,
Are you not eating those?
all right. I guess that's worth knowing where my next meal is coming from.
I'll have one.
Mm-hmm. And I plop down 10 gold.
I know.
All right, so you get a wooden fishing pole, some line that's made of silk. There are some hooks, lures, a box to keep all of it in.
I'm just gonna write into my inventory, like my gear. I'm just gonna write fishing kit.
As well as some sinkers. Yeah, so I can.
How much would it weigh?
5 pounds. So this is all the.
I'm at a medium load.
That's all the stuff from the description. Okay, so you get yourself set up. You go ahead and you start to cast. Make a strength check to see how far you can cast.
Oof. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. I knew it was somewhere.
You rear back to cast, and your hook gets caught on something behind you.
I go over and I uncatch it, and I go, God fucking damn it.
Okay, easy enough. So yeah, go ahead, try again.
Yeah, there we go. Much
All right,
better.
so yeah, you second time, you get a much more well, a cast that's much closer to what you were expecting to happen the first time. You fling your line out into the ocean. Go ahead and make a survival check.
Yay! It's something I have. Yay!
Okay, so with your fishing tackle that you've just bought, that becomes a 20 because you get a +1. So a couple minutes go by, and you actually do have a bite on the line.
Oh, time to reel this sucker in.
Okay.
Do I roll strength, right?
Sure, yeah.
Or could I roll dex instead?
Yeah, you can choose. I'll let you choose. All right, yeah.
20!
It takes you a couple moments, but you do manage to pull in a pretty nice looking. Let's see, is this a saltwater fish? Let me just make sure
I
I
would
don't.
assume it's saltwater. Probably brackish, if anything.
Yeah. I'm just making sure that the species I come up with is actually a saltwater fish rather than freshwater. I don't want to fuck up. Yeah, you pull in a pretty nice looking salmon.
Sweet. I'll go again. I put it in a bucket of water so I could keep him.
Okay.
Not keep him
My
as a pet, but
turn.
like keep him alive. Yeah, it's his turn while
Yeah,
I
yeah. We'll have Dino
do
go.
everything.
So Dino, do you buy the full kit or do you just?
Well, I already have a fishing kit.
That's right, you do. My mistake.
My mistake. So
Ooh,
Why am I
what?
echoing again?
I don't know, but it wasn't me.
I never have Discord open when this is happening. So, all right, Dino, go ahead. Oh yeah, easily enough. You just chuck that line out there, and it goes way out there.
I
So
sense a disturbance in the force of of reeling fish.
so far that you almost lose sight of it.
So is Tromper fishing too?
Yeah, like you know those like the main fisherman and then the person who like assists with the net once the fish is close enough. That's Chomper. He's gonna grab it whenever it's in reach.
I imagine Chomper's just gonna
With
like
his
eat it
mouth.
off the line, and then you're not gonna have anything.
Yeah,
I
pretty
mean, as
much.
long as he doesn't eat the hook, I'm okay with it.
Okay, so
Next
go ahead and make a
is
survival check.
survi-
Okay, and yeah, you also before long have a bite on your line.
Yes.
And just as easily as you cast the line out, you reel the fish in, and much like Ursuline, you pull in a very similarly sized looking salmon.
Excellent. And as I reel it in, I get the hook off, and I'm going to like use my butcher profession to like make it in half. That way I can store half of it for later, and the other half cut in half.
I'm just putting my fish in a bucket.
All right,
and
so-
he's out here butchering them.
So you're attempting to basically like fillet it on the spot. Okay, so go ahead and roll the profession check. Jesus
Yes.
Christ. Okay, so
It feels good after rolling that many nat ones. Am I fucking fighting?
yeah, right. Well, you're getting all the
Rolls
good rolls
well
out
and
of the
off.
way.
Off cam.
I am survivor, apparently. Yes.
Yeah, so very easily you use what are you using to butcher it?
My scimitar will probably be too large, so I'm gonna use my dagger.
All right, so yeah, you take one of your daggers and you just effortlessly butcher up and fillet the salmon that you just caught.
Excellent. I put half away, and I give the other half to Chomper.
Chopper very happily devours half of the salmon, skin and all. He seems very satisfied.
Yes.
Oh.
All right, so this time your line, it does make it into the water, but not very far.
Hold on. Survival, right?
Yep, survival.
Lol.
Okay, nothing catches on your line.
Oh. I reel it back in and I try again.
Okay.
Ooh, strength.
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
All right, so you fling it out further this time. Okay. It takes a while, but maybe like 20, 30 minutes of you just sitting there as Rob is dying.
The
We could
weed
say
is
that-
getting to him.
You could say that I'm just reading my book as I'm waiting, because like after the first 2 minutes of waiting, I'm just like, fuck it, then I pull out my book.
Okay, so you get bored, you start reading your book. Eventually, again, like I said, 20, 30 minutes, something does catch on your line.
Bam. Oh.
Okay.
Just rolling shit today.
You attempt to reel it in, and what you find on the end of your line is a boot.
It's
Classic.
bootyful.
You called him boot.
Why do I
My
get the
turn.
vibes of fucking Animal Crossing going on here?
So while that's
Common
happening,
Jerry vibe.
Dino, take another round. All right, so you fling your line out pretty far once again. Okay. Takes about 10 minutes. But you do hook something.
Damn it.
Okay, so the thing that's on the other end of your hook, you begin to battle with it for a few minutes to try and reel it in.
You gotta wear them down. Give them a slack, and then yank.
However, after a couple minutes of fighting it, it does get away from you.
Damn it, I immediately cast the line out to try to catch it.
Okay, make a strength check.
Damn it.
Yeah, you undershoot it, and it's whatever it is, it's gone.
Can I use Wild Empathy to try to make it come back?
Is there a range on Wild Empathy, or is it
It's about 30 feet, and it has to be able to see me.
Okay, well, yeah, this is gonna be more than 30 feet, and
Damn it.
it does not see you. It was fairly deep in the water.
Oh well, you win some, you lose some. And I'm gonna recast my line.
Okay, Ursula, you going again? Okay, pretty low cast distance once again. Only seemingly a few feet out in front of you. Oh, you reeled in and cast again. Okay, so that's a bit better. You get it out to around like here. Okay, so once again, you're waiting for a while. You get bored. You go back to your book for a little bit. Your hook does catch on something. You feel like a bit of resistance when you try to sort of adjust where you've cast it. So it seems that you have hooked something. You pull it in pretty effortlessly, and it is the corpse of a goblin.
Nice.
Oh, well then.
You're muted,
turn.
by the way.
Oh, I am? Wow, look at that. I was talking that entire time. I was saying, can I loot it? And I rolled perception to loot it.
Okay. Yeah, you loot the body. You find a couple of arrows and a dagger.
I put the dagger aside for Dino, and I put the arrows aside for Cade.
And you find 8 gold pieces.
And I put that in my pocket.
All right, Dino's turn.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, line doesn't go very far this time.
Alright, with that, I'm going to reel it in and make it go farther.
Okay. All right,
Damn
it
it.
goes maybe a few feet further.
One more time. Fuck.
Yeah, pretty weak cast that time.
I'm just getting all my bad rolls out this way.
Doesn't go very far.
4th time's a charm.
Okay. This time
there you
you
go.
There we are.
you yeet your line way out there.
Yes.
Okay, and yeah, within a few seconds you feel something on your line and it feels pretty big.
Alright, you motherfucker, I'm gonna get you this time. Or not.
Oh, you actually tied with the fish, so roll again.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that was close. That was really close. So
Oh, fuck.
in an equally epic battle to
Hello?
In what?
Did I cut out again? Fuck. Man, what a time to cut out right there. Okay,
Damn it,
so
Discord.
I know.
Hey, back.
So yeah, in what was just about as epic a battle as the goblin raid or your fist fight with an angry father or the fake taxidermy Sandpoint devil, you battle with this fish for what seemed like 10 or 15 minutes, and you eventually pull in a tuna.
Ooh, a blue tuna?
Like a pretty big, like blue tuna, like bluefin tuna.
About how big was it?
Big.
Like at least like double the size of the salmon you pulled in.
Oh, shit. I amaze myself sometimes. I give myself a pat on the back before I'm gonna fillet this bad boy.
All right.
All right.
Make your. Oh, Lee, it is you.
Oh,
that I'm
Lee,
echoing
it is
off
you
of.
that I'm echoing off of.
Me?
Sorry.
Yeah.
How am I echoing off myself then?
I don't know.
Alright, let me see.
Like the echoing just
Damn
stopped.
it.
Okay, so this is a bit of a hack job compared to the salmon. You
Chop meat is chop meat.
yeah, you cut off the head, not particularly cleanly. You have a bit of a struggle cutting along and removing all like the bloodlines and whatever, avoiding getting too many bones into the meat that you're pulling off. You don't quite get like two cleanly done fillets, but you do get a good number of what you end up deciding to do is you instead cut off a fair number of pieces of meat that would basically are like steak size. So like you cut off probably like 10 or so like tuna steaks.
Alright, so in total I have 10 tuna steaks
And you have
how many
half
fillets of fish?
you have half a salmon, like the full like fillet of half a salmon. That was done very cleanly. Yeah, so half a salmon and 10 tuna steaks.
Alright, I think I'm gonna stop before this becomes fishing simulator.
Okay. Ursula, are you going again or are you done too?
I'm very upset that I only got one fish, so I'm gonna go once more. And if I fail again, I'm just gonna go home.
Okay. All right, so yeah, you cast your line a fair distance out. All right, after some more reading out of boredom, you do manage to hook something. You pull it in, and it is another salmon. This one is a bit smaller than the first one you caught.
I wonder how far I could throw this out.
Throw what out, the line? Or
I was thinking the fish,
oh,
but I'm gonna throw the line out after putting the fish in the bucket.
While she's doing that, I'm gonna start searching around for her just to show off how much fish I caught.
Ooh,
okay. Yeah. So
that's much better than last round.
you cast Way Out. You do hook something and you bring it in, and it is the biggest salmon that you've caught so far today. Pretty good size. Looks like it'd be enough to feed a couple of people. If or really a few people.
I'm gonna give that one to the guy that gave me the fishing kit.
Okay. So yeah, you both call it good there. Ursula, you go back to the Sandpoint Market after spending a few hours fishing. You hand over the largest of the 3 salmon to the guy who sold you the kit. He thanks you happily. He's actually pretty impressed with the size of the fish that you caught for him.
You're welcome. Next time I go fishing, I'll bring you more.
He says, "Well, that's not necessary, but thank you."
No problem. See you around. And I head off towards the inn.
Okay. Dino, you're just heading straight back there?
He was looking
Might as
for
well.
me.
All right, yeah, you were looking for her. Yeah, as you walk along the beach, you do manage to spot Ursula as she pulls in the last of her fish.
Howdy.
Arizlan just doesn't hear. Arizlan is completely focused on getting the fish in the bucket. And
I
then
like to bring out my fishing rod. I like to try to catch, like, get her fish and like start reeling it into me.
What? No, it's in my bucket.
All right, make
I'll make it work.
a strength check and a dexterity check. One will be for your power, the other will be for your accuracy. Yeah, you missed the bucket by quite a bit. Urslan, roll perception to see if you know what he was doing.
No, I do not.
No
I just
idea.
keep walking.
No idea whatsoever. Sounds about right.
Alright. No,
I told
if I
Dino as
notice
I'm
that she
walking
doesn't do
away.
it, I'm gonna do it again.
Well, I told Dino as I start walking away while he's doing that, I'm going to the fish.
Well, you said you didn't hear me.
No, I said I chose to ignore you. I said Arizlan doesn't look up. She's focused on putting the fish in the bucket. Arizlan says, I wave my hand and I say, I'm going to the market to turn in this fish.
Interesting. I like to try to nab the fish again.
All right. I would assume that by now she started moving, so go ahead and roll the same checks again. This is going to be a bit higher of a DC this time. Okay, so you cast your own line towards her bucket. You definitely got enough arm into it, but you're off to the right by probably like 10 feet.
It's worth a shot.
I turn and I say, what the fuck are you doing?
Fishing.
I point towards the water and I go, the water's that way!
But this is more fun. Damn it.
Okay, not even close this time. All right, so with that, Ursula then goes to the market. Everything that I said happened with the market. The guy who sold you the kit. What do you want to do now?
I'm gonna go back to the inn.
Okay, so everyone's going to the inn. With all the time that's passed, it is late afternoon. You all walk in. Ameko greets you and she says, dinner won't be ready for a little bit, but I'd be happy to give you guys some drinks. What'd you all do today? What'd you get into?
I put the bucket of fish on the counter. The 2 fish that I didn't give the guy.
She says, "Oh, what's this?"
Food.
Well, I
was
guess,
hoping-
I
was
guess,
hoping to
I
cook
guess, I guess I'm cooking some salmon tonight then.
Yep.
She says, "You wanted how I did it at the festival?"
Oh yes.
All right, salmon curry coming up, and she immediately gets to work.
Not too bad, not too bad. But have you considered? And I bust out all my tuna steaks.
I look at it and I go, "Where's the rest of the fish?"
I'm just
It's
hungry. I'm
been
down for
cleaned
anything.
to the bone. Well, this is my emergency supply, just in case we run out of food.
So what cut did Chomper get?
Chomper got half of a very large salmon. Ain't that right, buddy?
Him. And that, for once, I was actually asking genuinely. I hope Chomper had fun.
He enjoys eating
I'm gonna
fish,
put my
so
fishing
I'm sure
kit
he did.
in my room.
Does that mean Chomper's going to try not to take my food tonight?
That depends on how much food he gets.
Oh God.
Mako sort of looks at all the catches, and she says, "Well, certainly looks like there's enough for everybody here, and then some." She
How much Chomper eats?
She reaches for the tuna and she says, "I got a new recipe I wanted to try with this. Don't worry, I'm sure it's going to come out great."
Wait, how much is he gonna use?
She says, "How much do you want me to use?"
Well, don't take this the wrong way, but I was hoping that would save this fish for emergencies. You know, out when we're in the wild and whatnot.
All right, no problem. And she just goes back to work on the salmon.
There's a bunch of Tupperware.
What?
So some time passes. She's cooking. After all of her prep work, it's probably been about another half hour. And then around then, Shalelu walks in. And she sees all of you already seated at the bar, and she heads right over. Bethana gets her some mead, and with the food almost done, she makes sure that to grab an extra plate, so that everyone is accounted for. Shalelu says, as you probably guessed, there's quite a bit of business to discuss between us. Like I said earlier today, I really believe that someone bigger than the goblins is organizing all of this.
Oh, most definitely. I have a good idea on who it is.
She says, "Do
Not
you?"
exactly who it is, but we know one thing for certain. We're dealing with at least one necromancer.
It's interesting. I hadn't considered that. Well, I'm at your disposal for anything that you need to know about the goblins themselves. I can certainly tell you. So what would you like to know?
Well, before I ask, I'd like to know how much about the goblins do I know myself.
Okay. Well, other than the encounters you've had with them, go ahead and make. Normally this is a trained skill, but go ahead and make a history check.
Oh, and I'll be using guidance because I have no modifiers in that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 12.
And it's a 12.
So you don't know too much about the specific tribes that are around this area, even though you're generally from here. In your time with the lizard folk, you didn't really encounter goblins all that often. You know, other than everything that she told you at the meeting at the town hall, you know that the goblins around here, most of the tribes, like, you know that she was sort of downplaying a little bit when it comes to the goblins tribes and how they interact with one another. Like, a lot of these tribes, like, they really don't like each other on a normal day. But that's about all you know, other than what you've already been told.
Do you have any idea what these goblins could be after for them to want to work together at all?
She says, well, that's sort of what I'm trying to figure out. Like I said, typically when these goblins attack humans and elves and other creatures like them, it's normally just to cause some mischief for their own tribe and to be seen as heroes by their peers. You know, things like I said earlier, burning down a farm or killing a dog or stealing from people. It's typically something like that, something really simple and sort of confined to whatever the given tribe would want. But raiding a whole town, especially one like this, that's pretty bold, wouldn't you say? That's something that I don't think any one tribe would be able to do on their own. And like I said, I know for a fact that some of them have been working together. So I can't shake the feeling that there's something bigger than them that's organizing all of this, and it might even be something that's right under our noses.
Well, is there a graveyard nearby?
She said, yes, you were there. Sheriff Hemlock told me about your trip over there with him.
I turn over and I
but
turn around and I say,
there was
"There's
like
a tunnel
3
system."
or 4 bodies there. I'm talking like a big one.
Well, yeah, there are other bodies buried there. The sheriff must have just taken you straight to the scene of the crime. But yes, there are other smaller plots scattered around the region for burials. But yeah, the vault you saw was more grandiose because it was the former sort of like head priest of the cathedral.
Makes sense. Well, for one thing, as well as keep an eye out for goblins, we should keep an eye on the graves around here, because that's the one thing a necromancer has to go for in order to summon skeletons and God knows what else.
She says, yes, I had heard that when we're disturbed, it looked like there was another.
They heard what?
It looked like there was another set. What the fuck? Okay. Hello? Okay.
I hear ya.
I definitely.
Anyway, so she said.
Yeah, I've determined that I need to stop like leaning back in my chair and like grabbing my microphone with me so I don't sound further away, because I think that's what's doing it. Anyway, so she says that, yeah, I had heard that Father Tobin's remains were disturbed and potentially taken. and also that there was another sort of disturbance in there. The sheriff had mentioned that Father Tobin's daughter was missing, potentially.
Sounds about right. There was a body that was missing. Hey, what basically happened was there were skeletons there. We took care of them, but my main point is that we need to keep it on the graveyards because I don't know too much about necromancy, but I do know that a necromancer needs dead bodies in order to make whatever undead heathens that they create.
I'm actually gonna hop off. I'm tired and I work at 8 a.m.
Sleeps for the week.
Shush.
Alright, night.
Okay. Have a good night. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate, but all right. Sorry,
The
I had.
show must go on.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello. So I'm sorry. I actually didn't catch some of what you said. I had to deal with something else really fast.
Alright.
Yeah, sorry about that. If you wouldn't
Basically,
mind.
I just restated that how important it is to watch these graveyards, because I don't know too much about necromancy, but Dino does know for a fact that a necromancer needs dead bodies in order to raise the dead.
Right.
That is true.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's the number one thing he's going after.
Okay. That's understandable. All right. So Shalelu thinks about it for a moment, and she says, "Okay, well, that's certainly something to keep an eye on. As the sheriff said, I'll be sort of poking around some of the settlements and sort of forested areas around the town for a few days just to see what I can find. But yeah, it might be a good idea for one of you to check up on the grave sites periodically." And then she starts talking about some of her like own knowledge about the goblins that are around here. She makes a point that most goblins, as you all would know, generally live short lives that are typically on the violent side. It's unusual for a single goblin to achieve any real measure of notoriety, but it's almost certainly well earned when that happens. Currently, there are 6 goblins that she knows of that have achieved sort of like hero status among the goblins. And she starts describing them all to you. She says, well, the first one is Big Gugmit. He's an unusually muscular and tall goblin from Mosswood. And it's said that he had a hobgoblin for a mother, and I don't know how this could happen, but a wild boar for a father. That doesn't make any sense. Then there was Corvus, who is the champion.
Can I make a nature check to see if that's possible?
Sure. Yeah, you definitely can make a nature check.
Guidance?
Yeah, you know
Yes.
that's like, that sounds more like local legend than truth.
Yeah. You see, genetics don't work that way. Something really different from something else just doesn't make babies. What my guess, it was probably an orc.
Shalelu just says, "Yeah, that's what I said when I heard the story. It sounds just as far-fetched to me as it does to you. Still, that's how the goblins choose to think of it." Where was I? Oh, yes. Corvus. He was the champion of the Seven-Tooth Tribe. He's very well known for having a short temper, and also his prized possession that has cause many problems around here. He has a magic longsword. It's not even sized for him; it's sized for a human. But Corvus has stubbornly kept it as his own, even though he really can't properly wield it. Another thing about him, supposedly several months ago he vanished. He had claimed to have discovered a secret hideout in a cave along the cliffs. His tribe thinks he's still out there, whether he's still alive or he's turned into a ghost. And they say that he's waiting in there to murder any goblin who tries to discover his hideout. The next hero is Rendwaddle Gutwad. He's a very overweight goblin, and he's the chief of the Brinestump tribe. It's said that he never leaves his throne. I don't know how much of a danger he could be. Next is Rip Nugget. He's another chieftain. He leads the Thistle Top tribe, and he controls what all of the goblins seem to agree is the best lair. They all would love to take the Thistle Top lair for their own. And then there's a horrid creature, Bruthasmus. He's a bugbear, and he lives in northern Nettlewood. He visits all of the tribes to trade things that he's stolen from caravans, like alcohol or magic arrows or information. Bruthasmus has a very particularly strong hatred for elves, and I've actually fought him many times. As you can see, he hasn't killed me, and I haven't been able to kill him, but I swear I'll be the one to win that war. And then finally, there's a notorious cannibalistic goblin named Vorka. Vorka is only a hero to all the goblins who are not in her tribe or associated with her tribe, which was the Licktoad tribe. However, I heard a rumor recently that Vorka was taken out by the new chief of the Licktoad tribe and some of his underlings. So if she's gone, I can only imagine what kind of horrible creature was able to kill her.
Interesting. So the summary is we're dealing with potentially a strong goblin with a magic sword, a fat goblin that's more of a leader, a smart leader, a bugbear, and a cannibal.
A lot of freaking goblins.
Yeah, she says those are the heroes. As far as the tribes themselves, I can tell you some information about how they act and where they're located. There's the Bird Crunchers, who live along the western edge of Devil's Platter. They're not too aggressive, so I think that if they're involved here, then they had to have been coerced by someone. It could have been one of the more aggressive tribes, could have been by whoever the leader is. I don't know anything about that just yet. Then, as I just mentioned, the Licktoads, they live in the Brinestump Marsh. They're known for being excellent swimmers. So if we encounter any sort of water situations together, there's a pretty good chance that we'll see some of them. To the east in Shanks Wood, you'll find the Seven-Tooth Goblins. They have secured their own place by stealing some refuse and other castaway sort of items from the junkyard here in town. No one else really knows that that's going on other than myself and the sheriff. Even the mayor doesn't know. We've sort of for now. We've been trying to find a couple of people who can deal with that, and we have recently. There are a couple of extra guards. Did I go out again? Fuck.
Not again.
Hello?
Jesus. All right, I really got to do something with Discord for next session. This is unacceptable. Anyway, so Shalala was
that the mayor didn't hear of it.
Yeah, Shalala was just mentioning that between her and Sheriff Hemlock, they've deployed a couple of town guards at the junkyard to try and prevent the Seven-Tooth Goblins from taking anything else from there. The next tribe she brings up, even farther east from there, is the Mosswood Tribe. They are the largest tribe of the five, but they have always been traditionally held back by feuds and wars that occur within their own ranks. They're another tribe to really watch out for, because again, if they have somehow gotten themselves together, as much less allied with any other of these goblin tribes, there's certainly a lot of danger afoot there. And finally are the Thistle Top Goblins. They live on the Nettlewood coast. Their lair is on top of a small island, and some say that island holds a passing resemblance to that of a decapitated head. So that's some nice imagery for you. But that's all I know about the tribes. Again, it doesn't quite add up for me yet. Like who could be organizing all of this? I know you mentioned the necromancer, and perhaps that's true, but I feel like it certainly would take more than one person to organize all of these goblins together.
You would be surprised. A necromancer can raise an army fairly quickly. Whether that's their own army, from skeletons and whatnot, to others. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, she says, well, maybe so. But I can't prove it yet, and I really need to go and try and look for more clues first. Do any of the rest of you have any questions?
Let's go punch some goblins.
Cade just says that we should probably start with the largest clan first and see if they have anyone there or anyone who can give away any humans that might be helping them. Goblins aren't known for keeping secrets.
Not too sure we should go for the biggest clan.
Shalelu sort
Numbers is the only... Sorry, continue.
All I was going to say is that she looks at all of you and she says, well, yeah, these are all nice ideas. But remember, the sheriff needs you all to stay here for a bit. If you all were to set out now and try and take out some of the goblins, well, surely they would have had some sort of scout see that the sheriff left with some of the guards. The town would be unprotected.
Oh, makes sense.
Oh, I
why
was saying.
Sorry, why is it? Why do I care? That sounds like a you problem.
Cade smacked Cat and goes, "I live here. It's a me problem."
Okay, fine. It's a her. It's a them problem.
Can I flick her the back of the head?
She is like halfway down the bar from you. I mean, if you want to walk all the way over there and do it, then sure, but...
I do so.
Okay.
I'm not wrong. You can get mad at me all you want, but I'm not wrong. I don't understand why it's up to us to do this. Like...
Free volunteers.
Ow! Look, all I'm asking is why. Like, I don't mind helping. It's not like I have anything.
Two things, Kate. One, even I'm a neutral person. I don't always consider myself being a good person, but even I can't ignore these little shits going around, singing and screaming how they're gonna chop down and burn everything. And second of all, money.
I that the thing that I don't understand is the assertion of we need to stay here because the sheriff is off doing something. Why? When did we become the official town guard?
We didn't. We're the
This
unofficial
morning.
ones, and we're getting paid to do it. Bop.
I mean, if you
That makes
want
us
to
the official
leave
town
and like,
guard.
if you want to go attack the goblins or go do your own thing, that's fine. But you're not getting paid.
Wanted to know when I got a job because I wasn't here for that discussion.
I think you were. You went to the meeting with us this morning, and we are the official goblin slayers.
That
Shillelagh-
is-
Cash just gonna look at
mean-
Mako and be like, another drink, please.
glass of mead.
Crisis.
Yeah. She hands you another glass of mead.
Thank you kindly. And
I'll stop
Cash
my
is
fishing
going to
pole
sit
and try to
there and
take it.
question her life choices.
Shillelagh looks out the window, turning around, looks out the window. She says, "Yeah, well, unfortunately, we're losing daylight here. Might not be a good idea to launch an attack tonight, anyway."
That makes sense. We don't wanna go into a situation where we're disadvantaged.
And I turn to Cade. For future reference, I don't think it's a good idea for us to go for the biggest group. The only thing a goblin really has against others is how many the fuckers are.
I was just thinking that if a large enough group of them had assembled, we should scout them out first to see if there's any discernible reason why, not just run in head first to try to murder them all.
Alright, just letting that out there, that goblins' greatest strength is their numbers.
You're right. So shouldn't we make sure that they aren't the ones organizing all the other ones?
Or we murder the smallest one and we move up.
Also a very fair and valid point. Cade trails off, still munching on some snacks.
Let's look at this diplomatically.
Anyway, there's not much we can do right now, so yeah, we'll stay here and
So,
any
I
of them
agree.
show up.
I agree we should go for the smallest first. If we go to the biggest first and we somehow take them down, we end up creating a power vacuum, which is going to create more of a disturbance. If we really want to find out what's going on, we go for the smaller group, get information, and then move from there. You want to take down any support the large group has before going for them. Otherwise, you're just going to continue to have the same issue as a power vacuum needs to be filled.
That sounds really intelligent. Didn't you just read that out of a book or something?
I grew up with aristocrats. I had to learn political theory growing up, okay?
Cade looks over and goes, "Seems useful."
What do you think made me a good pirate?
I wouldn't say
Your looks?
good.
I mean, that helped, but knowing how to manipulate people is something I was taught from birth, man.
I don't think you could talk from birth, but you do you.
I didn't say I could talk, I said taught.
Taught and
Yeah, but how can you be
manipulation?
taught to take advantage
Body
of others when you
language.
can't talk?
Oh, so actually, so my favorite book as a little baby was apparently the ABCs of manipulation.
The ABCs of manipulation.
A is for attitude. B is for body language. C is for cunning.
Okay, this is actually
get
pretty
it.
solid.
I don't remember the rest, but yeah, no. They make baby books for everything.
Anyway, so about what time is it?
I would say
I would
it's
say it's
probably like. Oh, Tristan, you're echoing now.
you're echoing now.
God damn it.
Cap. After Cap blows everybody away with with
There we go.
actual knowledge of something and not just let's just steal from them.
I'd say it's probably like 6:30. Like the sun is setting actively. Around this time, an older woman walks into the bar. She is she has a grayish to white hair. Sort of sits down at her own table over there. You see her pull out a deck of cards, and she starts sort of just shuffling them and keeping to herself.
Sold to myself then. Hey, who's that woman who just walked in?
Hey, Cade, you're the
Cade.
standpoint expert.
Cade kind of just looks over and tries to be stealthy and sees if they can recall who it is. So one to make sure.
Who's the woman who just walked in?
Okay, so
well, I definitely didn't tell them. They definitely don't know that I'm trying to stare and analyze who they are, but I definitely probably don't remember who they are.
So let me take a look here because I didn't see those rolls yet. Okay. Yeah. No one knows that you're trying to get a read on who this person is. You don't know. You can't exactly place the name. But you do know that this older woman is a pretty mysterious character who runs a small business doing sort of like psychic readings and like prophecy type things.
Okay. So Kate kind of goes and looks at everyone, goes and under their breath kind of goes, town psychic kind of? This is really all I got.
You recognize that the cards that she has are in fact a Harrow deck.
Oh shit.
Well, in order to get a better read, maybe you just need some guidance.
Alright.
Okay,
I roll again.
So you cast guidance. Yep. It's a 10. It takes you a few more moments, but you do remember the name. This is Madame Mavashti.
Madame Vashti, I say, finally, looking at Dino. And
Power of nature.
And say, and then I do I notice that Dino said guidance casted braid melt?
You notice
Well, I
that
didn't say I cast guidance. I just said maybe all you need is some guidance, and suddenly you're glowing green.
you felt a little spark in your mind when you went back to thinking on it.
I look at Dino and grin and give him a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And I tell everyone the name of the individual, and I said, if you want to go talk to her, that's her name. That's and she does town psychic and prophecies. And I'm a terrible town guide, but I don't really know much else. Everyone, and Kate just kind of continues to sheepishly slip on their mead.
At one
Why not?
at one
When in
point,
doubt, focus stuff.
Bethana brings over a tankard of mead to Madame Mavashti. She whispers something to Bethana, and Bethana comes back over to the bar. She says that the lady is here because she felt a strong energy drawing her to the Rusty Dragon. And she says that maybe one of you should have your fortune told.
Kay just kind of
why not?
stands up and looks at everyone and says, "So who's going first?"
Why not? I'll go first.
So
Kay
you
nods their head and watches Dino walk off.
so you walk over there, Dino, and she says, "Ah, a brave soul. Tell me, what answer do you seek?"
It's a good question. What can you tell me about my future?
She looks at you and she says, well, I can certainly tell you that, but you'll have to be a little more specific.
More specific. How awesome and full of glory is my future tales gonna be?
Okay. She is going to think about it for a moment. Give me 1 second. I have to remove the cards that best fit your question for the first part of your reading. Okay. Is that all of them? Might be all of them. Okay. So, you watch as she pulls out only a few cards from her deck. 9 of them in total. She then sort of lays them out in a 3x3 pattern. Let me do that on my end too, because I actually have a real deck of these cards.
I was wondering. I was like, I definitely heard the shuffle sound effect.
Yeah, I actually do own a deck of these. I had bought them to introduce them to my old game, like the magical version, whereas these are just for about a reading. Okay, so she asks you to pick one of these 9 cards.
I picked the 7th one.
So, okay, so that's going to be bottom left on my interpretation here. All right, so the card that you have chosen is the keep. And she looks at it. Hold on, I have to grab one other thing out of here. Okay, so this card is misaligned. So she looks at you and she says, I see great strengths in your future, but I see even greater temptations. I fear that you will
That makes sense.
I fear that you'll give in to these temptations.
Ah, god damn it.
And then she
Alright,
she
madam,
takes
that definitely sounds like me.
she takes those 9 cards, shuffles them back into the deck. And then she begins to eventually deal out some more cards. Okay. All right. So she says, well, I know you want to know about your future, but in order to get there, we have to go through your past and present.
Alright.
So the first card that she turns over, it depicts a large creature that is sort of lying back on the ground, and it is laughing. And there's a man standing before it. She says, "Ah, the joke." She says, in the past, you may have had to overcome a great terror in your life, but you didn't overcome it by physical means. You used your mind. You used some sort of trickery or humor, even. This shows that in your past that you were resourceful. You were someone who was able to get out of a sticky situation with more than just brute force.
If it makes sense, when I was a kid, before I had him in strength, I had to use my wit.
And then the next card shows a sort of a large whirlwind type thing that is sort of engulfing what looked like it used to be a settlement, that it's also on fire. She says, "Oh, the cyclone. This is quite a card. This one is also misaligned." She says, "Well, also in your past, you went through quite a trial, quite a turbulent time. Maybe something with your family or someone very close to you. You found your way through it, and there's a sense about you that you were sort of born anew after this trial in your life.
I squint my eyes a bit. All right, madam. I'm going to admit you're getting ridiculously accurate here.
The third card in the left-hand column is... It shows a woman who is holding up a severed head that is... she's holding in one hand, and the blood that is coming from the neck is dripping onto a bunch of grapes that she is holding in her other hand. She has her eyes closed and has an expression on her face as if she's sort of puckering up to kiss this severed head. Madame looks at the card and she says, "Oh, the betrayal." She says, also in your past, you went through a time where you thought only of yourself, and your spirit was twisted by, well, it could have been any of the sins, but typically the betrayal points to envy. This card could also reveal some darkness in your past, something that you've done that wasn't right, and you haven't quite atoned for it yet. But I don't know, you don't seem like that kind of person. I'm not sure. She then moves on to the middle column of cards. She says, "These will give me an idea of your life as it currently is right now." And the first card she turns over is actually a pretty a card that sort of makes you almost want to chuckle as you look at it. It is a bear wearing a party hat, and it's riding on a unicycle. And she says, "Oh, the bear. This card certainly describes you. This card indicates strength in its purest form. And people will often make the mistake of assuming that someone who has the qualities of the bear can easily be tamed or trained, but not you. You buck that trend. You don't allow yourself to be tied down by the will of others. And you forge your own path." She then moves on to the next card, the one that is right in the middle. This one depicts an extravagantly dressed man, or actually it's an elven man, with a red and blue, very fine-looking outfit on. He wears a red a hat. It almost looks like a turban, but it's like taller than that. He carries various items in the card. He has some gold chains. He has a monkey on his shoulder. He carries looks like a quiver of arrows, a few musical instruments, and some gems. And the madame says, "Oh, this is the foreign trader. Let me ask you something. Do you trade in information? Do you know things?"
Not really. I'm a druid myself, so I've been brought up through the ways to learn things of nature and that sort of thing, but other than that, not really.
Interesting. Well, perhaps...
Hello?
Oh, did I cut out again? Am I good now? Okay. She says, "Well, perhaps you just don't know that someone around you might be dealing with some of this this sort of thing.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
She says, perhaps it's someone around you then who is dealing in that sort of thing, and maybe you just don't know it yet. I'm sure it'll come to light soon enough.
I turn back to the others. Yeah, I'm pretty sure who that is. I'm not sure if I want to know.
The last card in this column is it shows a crocodile that is wearing a sort of like a business suit and a top hat, and it is sitting on top of a person who is in the downward dog position, and the crocodile is holding a cup of tea, and she says, "Oh, this card is quite interesting. This card is the Rakshasa." She says, "You may or may not know it, but there is some sort of outside force that is imposing itself on your mind. Something that you might not be able to see right now. But when this card appears, it typically foretells some kind of dominance or mind control. Perhaps it is you doing it even, but it doesn't make sense. You seem to have heroic energy about you. I don't understand."
Mind control. That is weird.
And she says, "And now, the answers that you had asked. I will tell you your future." The first card she turns over is a strange, almost demonic-looking creature with 3 eyes. It has a wide grin on its face, and it is holding a mask just a bit off to the side of its own face. This is a white mask that has feathers. There is a large sort of like earring, like dangling from the right ear of this creature. And she says, "Oh, this is an interesting one. This card, in your future, you will find yourself involved in some sort of maybe political intrigue or some sort of situation with the nobility. You may also have to engage in some negotiations, some very important negotiations. You may come across a woman who seems to be shaping the events as they happen."
Well, that I guess explains why the card looks like a demon. Hate those guys.
The next card is this one shows a twisted looking creature with looks like bat wings for ears. It's wearing a helmet. It has a really long tongue that it is flying haphazardly out of its mouth. Its limbs and skin look very gaunt and very like malnourished. Carries a sword that it appears to be almost attempting to drive into its own leg.
It's a Golbat for Pokemon.
Okay, it's actually a Bodak on the card now that I'm reading it. So this card's called the Lost. She says, "At some point in your future, you may find yourself feeling empty. You may even feel like you're losing your identity. You might even find that just the world around you doesn't make any sense. That everyone is just babbling or just feeding you nonsense. You must trust yourself.
Yep, definitely probably from the politicians.
You must trust yourself and find your way. Find your own truth and pursue it. And then the final card that she reveals is it looks like a sphinx. The sphinx is holding on its front right paw a person who would be its mount. The sphinx has a sort of a smile on its face, but sort of like a wry smile on its face, like maybe it's up to something. She says, "Oh, the desert. But it's misaligned, so it's a bit different here." She says, "You may find yourself in a tight spot sometime soon in your future where you just can't rely on others to help you. You may even find yourself lost as a result. Tell me, do you often do things on your own?"
This alright town, not really, but I've gone hunting and fishing on my own.
Well, at least then you have experience operating alone.
Interesting.
She says, "I hope that I've given you some clarity today."
Oh yes, madam. Plenty. One, don't give in to my temptations, no matter how tempting they are, hence the point. You were really accurate about my past, I will admit, although the betrayal seems a bit out of place. Can't recall betraying anyone in my life. My present, also pretty accurate. The dominate or mind control thing seems a bit out of place. And the future, not that exciting, with the politicians and me having to trust my chaotic nature. And I have to rely on myself for a while.
She says, "Well, not everything in the cards is meant to be taken literally. Sometimes we have to think of the abstract." And then she sort of has like a vacant gaze on her face, almost as if she's looking past you, but she's looking right at you. She then speaks up and a little more loudly, and she says, "Would anyone else like their fortune read?" Oh, who did we lose?
Oh, remember we lost,
Well, no, someone...
Leah, she had to go.
Yeah, no, someone went out and back into the Discord, so I just wasn't sure. Like a second
That
ago.
was me, my bad.
That was you. Okay, so,
I couldn't hear anyone when I came back.
Madame Mavashti just finished her reading for Dino, and she's asked if anyone else would like to have the same.
Cade
Why not?
kinda is curious, but is also tepid and slightly afraid of what they might hear.
Like you guys are allowed to do like readings together. Like it doesn't have to be like just one at a time. I'm just saying like
Cool.
however you want to do it.
Yeah, I'm down to do one
Like,
together.
I-
Cade looks at Cat.
Like, I control storms. I've seen stranger shit and just walks across the room.
Okay. Cade, you're joining?
Yes, sir.
Dream, any interest or Rob? All right, we can come back to him.
Hey, Mushroom Man.
We can come back to him.
We know what his future has in store anyway. Drugs.
Yeah, right. So she looks at both of you and she says, "Come now, tell me, what answer do you seek?"
Cade says, I would like to know where and who my parents are.
Okay. Cat.
How does this work again?
She wants to know what answer you seek.
Am I here?
Why are you here? Okay.
And cat means that in like the like Kay's gonna like I'm phrasing it vaguely because Cat's asking like why was she sent here from her. I'm explaining this out of character, but she's asking like why was she sent here from like her world, not like why is she here in this tavern. It's not an existential question. Does that make sense? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes sense. I'm just having a difficult time
It makes sense.
pairing it to something for the purpose of the first part here.
Okay.
I know what I have to do for Cade's question. So I guess
Alright, I gotta be all difficult, like.
no, it's okay. Like I don't know if there's like any further way that you could like elaborate, it would be great. If not, I can just kind of like figure something out. But...
I guess what like why am I here? Why me?
Okay, that gives me enough because of the way that I did your intro. So yeah, that'll
Okay,
work.
cool.
Okay, so I have to pull out two different sets of cards now. So let's see. There's no. Okay. Three, 4, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 4, 8, 5, 6. 7, 8.
Hate to interrupt, but with my
Nine,
past
okay.
fortunes, what was one of them? I remember betrayal, and remember me or have to overcome something with wit. But do you remember what the other one was?
So there was the betrayal. There was I have to go through my book here. Yeah, there was the keep, which was the temptation one. There was the betrayal, which that was pretty self-explanatory, and then the last one was the
The temptation was the third one. All right.
Yeah, then the other one was the joke. Yeah. All right, so she pulls out different sets of 9 cards for the two of you. It would appear that your questions pertain to different parts of the deck. So once again, laying them out 3 by 3. Each of you let me know which card you wish to draw.
Cade, you go first.
Okay, Kay ponders for a moment and stares at them and says, middle right.
Middle right. You see what looks like it's a person. You can't tell whether it's a man or a woman. They are kneeling before what looks like it's like an obelisk, and there is something burning in at the base of it in like a small gold bowl. Above them is what looks to be the spirit of someone else, perhaps their predecessor or something of that nature. This card, she looks at it and she says, "Oh, it's the empty throne." Well, and she starts like pointing out the elements of the card. She says, "The ghost signifies that those who are gone will always be with us. And if you chose to listen to whoever this represents, you know that they taught you important lessons. But all the same, the loss of this person meant a great deal to you."
Kate just nods and continues listening.
Kat, your choice.
Far left.
Top, middle, or bottom? They're 3 by 3.
Oh, sorry, top. So,
Top left.
top left. Excuse me.
Okay. This this card. This card shows a very grotesque looking creature with blacked out eye sockets. It is holding one hand up towards you. The creature has purplish skin and white hair, and within its mouth are some fangs and an eyeball that is also looking at you.
I feel like if I were married, I'd say that looks like my mother-in-law.
She says, she looks at you, Madame looks at you, and she says, "Ooh, you must have some sort of hold over men now. This card is the Mute Hag. The eye she holds lets her see into the hearts of men. And you have some sort of power to turn them against each other."
Yeah, how do you think I became a pirate?
Power of simps.
Seriously, though.
And she says,
I robbed them blind and they never see it coming. It's fantastic. And then they thank me for doing so.
She says, those cards are your chosen cards, and now I will perform your reading. The reading is going to be it's going to be one card reading for the both of you. However, she's going to do her best to like interpret the cards that appear as best she can about each of you specifically. Just got to shuffle up again. She deals out the 9 cards once again, and she says, Now, let's see what's in the past for both of you. The first card she turns over is a card that depicts there's a sort of a forest scene with some vines and trees. There are a few different colored lights in the sky. Two of them are green. The other one looks like red or maybe pinkish. At the bottom of the image, there is a sort of a pond with a hand that is coming out of it. Not quite like Terminator style, because it's not like a thumbs up, but it's a hand that is, and probably a little bit past, goes a little bit past the wrist, that's coming out of the water. She says, this card is the Demon's Lantern. It is misaligned. So let's see. So she takes a couple of moments, like, you know, kind of like an extended pause to sort of look at this card. And then she looks directly at Kat, and she says, "You've had quite a troubled past, and I'm seeing that you were given an opportunity to sort of gain redemption, and there was a guide that showed you the way."
Guess that's one way of putting it.
Do you remember anything about this guide?
Do I remember anything about this guy?
You remember that the voice that the guide had when speaking to you. Let me scroll back up here. The guide, when it first spoke out to you, was angry and overbearing. It was also very, very masculine. But when it spoke to you the second time,
Kind of a dick.
When it spoke to you the second time, and sort of brought you here, the voice became more feminine and softer and more inviting.
Guide was like kind of a. There was a guide. He was kind of a dick. But then it looked like there was a second guide once I finally made a decision that was much nicer.
Madame thinks about it for a moment, and she says, "You've been blessed by Gazray."
I've been blessed by who's it? What's it now?
Gazray, the god of nature. There's a duality about them. I guess them. They tend to
exist in duality. It would be them because they are neither male nor female, right?
They tend to appear in different forms and voices that fit the situation.
Then them.
If that's how you were addressed, then it had to be Gazray.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Well, it means your presence here is a blessing. Gazray
I'm pretty sure there are some people who would disagree with that.
Gazray could have easily just let you die out there.
You know, would you say my presence here is a blessing?
Cade looks over and says, "Yes, I'd still be homeless and broke if I hadn't met all of you."
The second card
A little bit.
is
upon hearing that.
The second card is the betrayal again. She looks at both of you, unsure of who this pertains to more, and she says, well, perhaps in your past someone really wronged you. someone who wanted to take something from you, or perhaps you wanted to take something from someone you loved. I can't place who would have done that.
I don't think that's me. I just killed anybody who tried that shit with me, Cade. You okay, bud?
Cade just kind of stares blankly and looks and goes, I think that's referring to me.
She looks at the third card. This one has a woman who is dancing. She is dancing around. Her different elements of her clothing seem to all be wrapping around her as if they are all traveling in a circle with her. She is barefoot with simply just some wraps on her feet. She is holding a baton of some sort. And it also appears that there are some celestial type things like planets or moons perhaps that are sort of orbiting her as she goes. She says, yes, the dance. At least one of you, if not both, at some point in your past have been required to perform in a very specific and certain way, something very strict, and basically what I'm saying is that you would have had to have known your place in the greater good, and should you step out of that pattern, you do so very much at your own peril.
Cade turns white at this.
And Cat's like, greater good. I mean, I had to know my place, but there was no good about it. It was all a hive of scum and villainy, which made me so great as a pirate.
Cade kind of looks over at her and then kind of covers their face so only Cat can see, and then grins with the fangs out, pointing at them, and goes, I think she's referring to me.
The next set of cards, she moves to the middle row, or column rather, and she says, now let's talk about your present. And this first card, you see a man who is walking along barefoot, and he above him and behind him there is a blue arm that is seemingly reaching down from the heavens and actually zaps him with some energy. His glasses are coming flying off of his face. He's dropping the items that he's holding. Madame looks at the card, and she is quite surprised that this comes up in the present. She says, this is the vision.
What does it mean?
Well, it could mean a few different things. It could mean a sudden burst of arcane knowledge could come to one of you. It could be in the form of cryptic words, or, well, worst case scenario, you could go mad. Oftentimes this means you will encounter a crazy person, someone who doesn't make much sense. But it can also signify a brush with genius.
Cat. I look at Kay and be like, you know what that means?
I'm gonna look at everyone and say, I think that's us all coming together and actually solving half the issues in this town.
fuckers do describe us pretty well.
I look at the madam and I say, "Am I just speculating wildly here, or am I kind of on the nose?"
She says, I think there's more truth to what you say than you might think.
I'm gonna insight check that. Oh, there's not insight. What?
Sense motive.
Sense motive.
I mean, she as a fortune teller is just inherently very hard to read.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was just like, I'm trying.
But she seems forthright.
Okay.
She moves on to the next card, and you see a giant that is walking around and looks like he's trampling some forests, but he's juggling like some massive items. He's juggling like a ship, a boulder, like the top part of like a church steeple, and like an elephant. Like he's juggling all of those things while he's trampling the forest. Again,
Things that were in over our head.
this card again is pretty on the nose. It's called the Juggler. And she says, she turns her attention more to Cat for this one. She says, this card can represent your fate. It can represent the gods. And then like she's like slowly looking more and more at Cat as she's going through this. And she says, or those who play with the lives and destinies of others. And now she kind of like locks in on you. She says, if you can keep up your rhythm, you'll achieve your goals.
Cat just looks at her and says, I have no idea what you're talking about, madam.
Kate just looks over at Cat and goes, well, what about all that stuff we just bought?
Make a bluff. Make a bluff check, Cat.
What?
Make a bluff check. 26. Wow. Okay.
I love your little shouts of guidance.
Let me see if there's a stat block for her real quick. Just so I don't have to make something up. Skills.
Plus 18 to sense motive.
No, I found a stat block, and her sense motive is actually not very good.
Oh.
She
you
has.
think as a fortune teller, that would be her highest skill?
No. She has really high bonuses to like a lot of the knowledge skills, appraise, perception, spellcraft, survival. Strangely,
What do survival and spellcraft have to do with fortune telling?
well, spellcraft could identify like if you're under the effect of something at least. Okay.
Fair enough.
Well, at any rate, she looks at Cat and says, "Well, whatever it is, just make sure you keep your rhythm going." The last card in the middle column is this is a card that came up in the old game. This card shows a cricket who is shuffling his own deck of cards. There is a large fruit off to the side that he has stuck his saber into. This is the cricket. She looks at the card and she says, one of you has traveled a long way and is currently still traveling.
I look at the group and say that could be any of us.
The fruit here, which on the card it's a large peach. It's commonly associated with there being treasure at the end of your journey. However, as it turns out, this card is misaligned. I suspect that the journey will go poorly, and that the treasure will be something that you've lost rather than found.
Cade looks a little hopelessly and says, well, we have no fucking clue where the goblins are.
And now it's time to look at your future. The first card shows a couple of creatures that look like elementals. One is a male creature who appears to be a fire elemental, whereas there is a woman who is a water elemental, and they are holding what looks to be a child, wearing sort of one of those like deep sea diving helmets. She says, "Oh, this is the marriage." This card is okay. Cards that are neutral on the good evil axis cannot be misaligned, so this is not actually misaligned. So she looks towards both of you, and she says, now this doesn't have to mean marriage, but in your future, for one of you or possibly both of you, there will be a union of ideas or people or maybe even whole kingdoms.
Cat's gonna look suspiciously. It's like I'm hoping for more metaphorical, since I've never wanted to marry and I never intend to.
Well, now this union could bring forth new power for both parties involved, or could also bring ruin. You know, this is your future after all. We don't know. But however, once wedded, they cannot be parted. This card represents permanent change for one of you, or both of you.
Neither.
Not an option.
She then moves.
And-
No, go ahead.
Cat-
Sorry.
And I apologize, madam. I crack jokes when I'm nervous.
Oh,
Please
now
don't
One
take offense.
often meets her destiny on the road she takes to avoid it.
Oh, now that's all right. I'm merely a fortune teller.
Cade just looks at everyone a little hopelessly and says, I'm more confused than when we started.
The next
Basically,
card.
the next card meaning that you two are gonna get married.
Cade shrugs and goes, not the worst thing.
Cat is just going to slap Dino upside the head. Like that. Like, please stop feeding Cade lies.
The next
Hey, the
card.
card said it, not me.
The next card doesn't really have any like fancy hidden descriptions in the imagery. The card is called the Avalanche, and it depicts an avalanche.
Oh.
She her eyes go a little wider as when she sees this card. She says, there's going to be some kind of disaster in your future for one of you. It can be a physical disaster. It could be something more emotional, such as whatever might cause a crowd to panic. Or it could be mental. Some entity or some group that isn't considering the possibilities of their actions. But something terrible could be coming.
that doesn't sound fun.
I mean, that sounds about right for my life.
The final card depicts a lamia on it, which is a creature that has the sort of top half features of a woman, with the bottom half of a serpent. This particular one is holding a bouquet of flowers that have withered and died. She says, Madame says, this card represents love at its most treacherous. This is not the kind of love that moves mountains. This is the kind of love that destroys people, and it causes the lovers involved to leap to their deaths. It can be obsession. It could be passion that is not returned, or a doomed love that never should have flourished in the first place.
This do not believe in love. Cheers.
For now.
She slowly turns towards Cade.
Cade just kind of looks at everyone and just kind of looks back and forth and goes, what?
She takes a final swig of her drink, and she gets up, grabbing her cards, and she says, "I'm glad to have met all of you. Have a good night." And she
Good
makes.
night.
I look at her and I say, you don't want any payment? I'm so bewildered, ma'am.
She just says, "No.
So thank you for your time, and
This one's
I wish
on
you
me."
good fortune, I guess. I'm sorry, I don't really know the proper goodbyes, but thank you so much.
I wish you good
for your
fortune as well. And if you have any further questions, she looks at Cade and she says, "They know where to find me."
Cade says thank you and looks at everyone else kind of nervously and when she's out of earshot goes, "Do you think she knows?"
I think she is a fortune
I don't
teller,
think so.
making very
Fortune
good money
tellers
off of
aren't that specific. Like, as with the
She's a fortune
cards, they
teller
were
making good
fairly
money off of
broad.
cold readings.
That's fair, but at the same time, it was eerie, and I didn't like it, and I don't want to do that again.
Hey, you don't have to do it again.
Man, Leah's going to be so mad when we tell her that I did a harrow reading for you guys. She missed it.
Well, she wanted to go to bed, so.
Yep, that's right. Okay, so the harrow reading took a fair amount of time. It's now dark out. Ameko has since finished cooking everything and has put all of the food up on the bar for all of you. And she says, "Everything's ready. Come enjoy."
Kat is just going to hop up and head towards the food because she's hungry.
Yeah, Cade at the notice of food immediately looks at everyone and goes, "Food seems normal. Food seems like a good idea."
Food is always a good idea.
At this point, Shalelu makes herself a plate, and she says, She says, I'm gonna call it a night a little early. Been a long trip today. I'll see everybody in the morning. And she heads up to bed.
Cade waves and says good night.
Just her dinner and says, you know what? Bed sounds like a good idea. I'm going to do the same. Good night, y'all. Or good night, everybody.
Cade honestly agrees and says after today, that seems like a great plan.
Okay. So everyone enjoys their dinner. Dino, do you stay up like particularly late, or you also head to bed? Yeah, I couldn't hear you, so I went out and back in. I'm sorry.
Nothing important, just saying that not really, because disciplines of a druid, early to bed ish, early to rise ish.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, in that case, I'll just initiate you guys taking a rest. Ursuline gets you guys didn't do anything strenuous today, so she gets the rest of her missing hit points back. All of you go to sleep. You wake up the next morning feeling quite refreshed, having called it an early night. And since I haven't heard from Rob in a while, I feel like he kind of just nodded off or something. And with Leah gone, I don't really want to advance the plot any further, so we're going to end here.
Makes sense.
But that was an interesting session.
I think it was necessary from the last session where it was super chaotic and everyone doing these rated R things. This one was more like laid back and fortune telling.
Yeah, everyone's sort of like milling about town and like fishing and commissioning armor and especially the fortune telling at the end.
I feel like it added a lot of depth to the world and the characters in it, and that we weren't just like running through, because a lot of times I can say, like playing tabletops, I've noticed that you just kind of like are always constantly going from one place to another. So the fact that we haven't just like literally run out the town and moved on to somewhere else in the world has been kind of nice, because you actually get to like discover everything and realize like there was time and effort built into putting this.
Yeah, and I would hate to waste time fishing and whatnot, like hunting, but that's what Dino would do, to prepare for
I
future.
thought it was a cool idea, and it helps us for later on with getting food for in game.
Yeah, I really liked running the fishing bit actually. It's not something that I'm ever going to like force you guys to do. Like I'm not so hardcore about like the game as a DM that I'm going to be like, "Oh, you guys haven't eaten all day, like you take a penalty." Like that's not I'm not going to do that. So to be able to just like willingly run that stuff was pretty cool.
Good to know, because Dino is a survivalist, so food, shelter is usually on his mind.
Yeah, like generally speaking, I'm going to assume that when you guys are setting out, that you would have prepared properly. We can always just kind of like hand wave that stuff if you want to just tell me like how much of, let's say how much rations you want to buy or how much whatever, and like we don't have to role play that out. I can just be like, "Oh, okay, you spend this much gold."
All right, cool.
Well, if we're going to do that, I think my profession and Dino and Chomper in general would
you're back. I
food
hear
fairly easily.
Yeah, because like you can always just tell me like, "Hey, I want to hunt," and we'll run it. Like I'm totally fine with that, and then you can absolutely use your butchering skills to get what you need out of your kills. I'm
Yeah,
still.
fish is pretty damn good for survival because you can eat it raw if you absolutely have to,
Oh yeah,
unlike chicken.
yeah. I mean, as someone who ordered himself a whole fuckload of sushi last night, yeah, I feel that.
Fish, the ultimate survival food.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's easy to catch, and you can eat it raw.
That's right. What was I had something else in mind that I wanted to bring up, and now I'm forgetting. Oh yes, I remember now. So I'm still looking for like a really good opportunity to sort of get your backstories a little more involved, because I know that something in the old game that I kind of felt was an issue is that like I didn't do that well enough with backstories, and I don't want to make that mistake again. So I thought that the card reading, especially when you pulled the one about the gods, I thought that was a good opportunity to be like, hey, this is the god that was talking to you.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
And that's actually the god that I intended to use for Jareem's part of the intro, but Rob had asked me to use a different one, so I did.
Hey, it worked out though.
Yeah. And I figured, okay, well, this is a god of nature, and we have a pirate on the open seas, so maybe this would work. And I think it did.
Definitely sounds interesting, but with Dino's backstory, he left his lizard folk home to better himself, and he wants nothing to do with Magnamar.
Yeah.
I feel like Kat entertains these because she's used to like entertainers. So she's not going to take what was said too seriously, but she is really that she was a little thrown off by the fact that they knew about the spirit guide.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, take it as seriously or as not as you like.
Yeah, and the with the fortune teller, like, although a couple of them didn't really make sense, like betrayal and the whole dominant mind read thing. The rest were like terrifyingly accurate to Dino.
Yeah, I feel like Dino's was more accurate as a whole. I mean, it's a bit harder when you're reading for like multiple people at the same time, but
I know, just saying that for a chaotic druid, she was pretty close to the nail.
For a Dampier hiding in society and not trying to be found out, while also finding out their parents was some type of fucking crazy vampire and noble, is interesting as well.
Just changing the date on the overlay because that's where we're going to be starting next time.
You mean to still be broadcasting?
Yeah, no, I haven't signed.
Okay.
We're going to sign off.
Speaking of planning next sessions, I'm actually quite sad with one of my groups. Not one of my group, I have one other group. And we haven't played for like 5 weeks because something's always popped up on the day that we had to play.
Damn.
That's frustrating.
Feels bad.
That does feel
it's
mad
like
bad.
stuff I can't even blame them for. Like
Some
of them I can, but like one of them, their mom got corona again, so I can't really fault them for that. But the others were unacceptable.
I feel that, honestly. Where it's just like, I'm not necessarily upset with any of you, I'm just upset that we can't play.
Yeah, because in my other group, we have 2 people that take turns running their own games. One of those are D&D games where I'm playing this really murderous half-orc barbarian, because how else are you supposed to run a half-orc?
Well,
That's fair.
you could run
That's
it like
and the other one is Pathfinder, like the game what we're doing now before.
There's always
And he's like total off. He's a halfling druid that is like super naive, way too trusting.
So Kate.
I would say even more so than Cade.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Because with Cade, even she understands that Cade was trying to steal something or lying. Oswald would have no idea. Like, the concept of people doing bad just to be bad, he doesn't get.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm playing a very, in my other campaign, I'm playing a very sheltered tiefling.
Yes.
So he's not necessarily naive. He's just like he understands people doing bad for the sake of bad, but he's like, why would they do it to me? I didn't do anything.
Yes.
Also, you know, if it can be screwed, it will be screwed.
Classic.
I talk. Wait, are you
Solid
talking about
character,
how
I mean-
typical bard or?
No, he's a teenage boy.
Yeah.
All right. With that, let me at least sign off. I mean, I'm down to keep talking, but our viewers don't really care about this stuff. So,
Blasphemy! This is the Chomper Show.
actually, yeah.
I'm just waiting until we hit a dragon because apparently I have a tendency to really do interesting things with dragons.
Yes.
Well, we'll see.
I'm
We'll see
excited
if a
for
dragon comes
We'll
up.
just convince the dragon to murder the goblins for us.
There you
There we
go.
are. Problem solved.
There you go.
It's like every time a dragon comes into a campaign, one of my characters decides to do something stupid. So,
I mean, that seems to be a
This
trend
is
in
D&D.
games.
How could you not bring a dragon to the game?
I mean,
And they're like so powerful they can.
it
make
is
or
in
break
the
game.
name.
Rob's character in our other game became the main drug connect for an entire army of dragons. So yeah, it doesn't seem to be a trend that stops anywhere. But all right, as always, thank you all for watching. As a reminder, we are back to our normal time slot on Thursdays starting next week, January 7th. We wish all of you happy holidays, happy and healthy New Year, and we will see you next week.
Peace out, Cub Scouts. Nice seeing you, and hope to see you next week.